Live with the evening session from the European Athletics Championships shortly. Stay with us for all of the action.
Hello and welcome to coverage of the European Athletics Championships. It's the Olympiastadion in Munich that you can see, and another exciting session awaits us. Bit of a worsening of the weather, and it's been threatening to rain for quite a few days now. Hot, sunny conditions for the main though, around 31 degrees at highest, and then just about an hour before the session was due to begin, heavy downpour, bit of a thunderstorm. In fact, a lot of spectators moving across to the area that is covered, the beautiful cascading glass roof, and rather lucky and fortunate that they were able to do that. And all respect to the organisers and stadium announcers getting on board with that and asking everyone to move across. So it means the crowd is predominantly, as a result, down the home straight. As we can see, fans filling in. There are those pretzels. Plenty of other snacks of choice available. My name's Alex Seftel. Phil Minchell and Hannah England alongside me. Look at that. Fans from all over Europe and teams as well. We ran into some of Annick Curlin's contingent supporting her, the heptathlete who is in with a chance of a medal, but specially made T-shirts. That's some effort to go to.
Yes, the crowd has been encouraged to come back under the roof, stay out of the wet. We're hearing at the moment possibly around a 20-minute delay to the competition department, to the competition starting, if you're just joining us. Well, we'll get underway with the high jump whenever we get the all clear, and the weather clears as well. It's rather wet out there. They're going to need to mop up some of the moisture that's on this track. Of course, we did, back in 2002, have a couple of days which they had torrential rain, and on a couple of occasions we actually had delays to the competition programme. These, as you might imagine, were taken just a little bit earlier. And we saw Pavel Fidek there. Well, talking of people we bump into as we're wandering around the stadium, Szymon Zilakowski, the Polish former Olympic and world champion, was there, along with Peter Malachowski, the 2010 European champion. These are the high jumpers. Reigning champion Matthias Przybylko was there, and that was Gianmarco Tamberi. There's Ida Karshoff, the Danish sprinter, and Karina Schwab chatting with a couple of her German teammates. Schwab has had a very busy competition, ran in the 400 metres as well. There's Majinga Kambunji, already got a medal in the women's 100 metres. Silver for Kambunji a couple of nights ago. There's Asha Smith, the British sprinter, pulled up in her semis. Now we're expecting her final, rather. Just wondering whether she's fit and well now. Lika Klaver, 400-metre runner.
Ansa, another man that's had a busy week. We saw him in the semi-finals of the 100, and he'll be going in the men's 200 alongside Vesely as well. Italy, I'm sure he'll be excited about that 4x100 with Le Mans Marcel Jacobs looking like he's back to his best, but Vesely will get the individual 200 underway first. We've got 3 semi-finals in each 200 metres tonight. We saw some of the athletes competing this morning. They had to qualify through the opening round, and they'll be joined up with the top 12 competitors in Europe this afternoon for their semi-finals.
Interesting to reflect, though, Hannah, on how the weather conditions, even if it does dry out and stop raining, might affect the competition. We saw already in the discus that Sandra Perkovic brought a towel in to try and get rid of some of the dust, but we may see that similar action, but to dry the circle again in that hammer final that should be an exciting rematch for the top in the World Tour in Eugene.
When we look at Malika Mahambo of Germany and Ivana Valletta of Serbia, the long jump pit isn't covered here in Munich. There's a big covering over the home straight, but these women could be jumping into wet sand, and that is no fun. Romanchuk's been pretty busy as well. We saw her in triple jump qualification. She's back for the long jump final tonight. Ragnar of Sweden as well. It's not pleasant jumping conditions out exposed on the back straight here in Munich, so I wonder if that will affect people's kind of attitude as they approach this competition.
Yeah, and another competition concluding is the women's heptathlon. Nafi Tiam leading overall, and it's going to be a really good battle for the medals behind her. As you can see there, competition delayed due to the weather. All else we can tell you, Phil said expecting around a 20-minute delay, but I did see a sign flash up saying wait until further announcement. So that's essentially what we're doing. Just continuing with the heptathlon, you've got Adriana Sulek of Poland. Fantastic long jump for her after 2 fouls to pull out 6.55, a clutch jump. Annick Carlin, 6.73, best overall. And then Norwitz, the Belgian, who's been very solid and consistent throughout. She's been in the top 4 in 4 out of 6 events. So that's going to be a brilliant conclusion to this evening's session. But generally, I think, Phil, there's been a strong sense of atmosphere from a knowledgeable German crowd that's been a link throughout all of the sessions.
Absolutely. We only need to turn the clock back a couple of days and remember what it was like in this Olympic stadium when Nicola Ska got the gold medal in the decathlon. And every single German athlete, when they've been on their blocks or competing in a field event, has been roared to the rafters of this historic Olympic stadium, which dates back to 1972. I'll just stop there because I think you perhaps want to just confirm a few of the details of the women's heptathlon.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can add to what I said before in terms of Adriana Sulek is one of the faster 800-meter runners. So if you look at what the athletes would do, if they match their personal best, then Sulek and Witz would go above Carlin and into silver and bronze. Zena Christian, she hasn't run an 800 meters this year, but she's a 2:07 athlete at best, so again she would be expected to move up. You can see there just 15 remaining, and Campbell with no mark in the long jump, so it is very likely we'll just have the one heat altogether in the 800 meters.
And who can forget Adriana Sulek versus Anna Hall in America, trying to fight for that bronze medal at the World Championships. Adriana Sulek had to beat the American on home soil, and she so nearly did it. It was such a gutsy run. And I wondered at the start of the competition whether Poland's Adriana Sulek was looking a bit jaded, a little bit tired from her exploits this season. But she's really built momentum through the European Championships here. And you can say something for sure, Adriana Sulek will not give up without a fight. Her and Norwitz could go right to the wire.
Yes.
Well, we're hearing from our director that the competition on the track will commence at the bottom of the hour, 20:30. That's Central European time. Of course, as I've said on more than one occasion, if you're in Great Britain, Ireland, Portugal, or the Canary Islands in Spain, that of course is 1 hour behind, so it'll be 19:30 in those countries. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a brief break for commentary. We'll let you peruse the crowd and just see the atmosphere as it builds up. The DJ here is playing some absolutely marvellous classics, and rejoin us again about 5 minutes before the competition gets underway.
Today in Munich, we've got finals in the high jump,
Oh, and he nails it.
hammer throw,
Pavel Fidek will be keen to send a message to Wojtek Nowicki, his long-time rival.
long jump,
Malaika Mihambo, defending champion.
1500 meters,
Yakabinga Brittson just smoothly gliding his way around.
5000 meters,
I will try again 5,000 because I missed it World Championship.
and we'll draw the heptathlon to a close.
Tiam once again is over, and the bar does stay up.
We'll be back live for the evening session of athletics soon, but in the meantime, here's some highlights from these championships so far. Heptathlon long jump.
Carlin of Switzerland.
Yeah, Annick Carlin's 6.62 new lifetime best. She was leading just by a fraction after the hurdles, the first event yesterday. Carlin with a huge jump. That is closer to 7 meters. Clearly, the 22-year-old, an athlete in form. national record for 6th overall in Eugene, and she might be even higher at these European Championships. Very close on that board. Pretty much perfection. Eyes down at the sandpit, and she'll be very happy with that. 6.73, way beyond everyone else at this point in time.
Heptathlon javelin throw.
This is Nafi Tiam, 53 metres this year. That might be something to aim for. She needs to get something in and then maybe really go for it to maximise points in the second round. What will she do? Such a great competitor, and to be honest, one of the greatest athletes at these championships, improving on some of her weak events this year. So now looks to be a valid attempt. Nafi Tiam, 2 times Olympic, 2-time world champion, winner in Berlin 2018. So Nafi Tiam, it's come up as 48.89.
Well, that may well be a modest effort by her own fantastic standards, but for my money, that's clinched the gold medal. Without a doubt, she's got a safe effort in, and barring accidents, she's on her way to taking the European title.
Tiam 5.776 with 1 event to go, and then Carlin and Sulek battling for that medal with Norwitz. Sulek should be really strong in that last event. She may well lead it out. Holly Mills, one of the faster 800 runners out of the competition, so could be a little bit like Nicola Ska out front. However, different story with Sulek trying to get that silver rather than gold.
It's the end of the morning session here at the European Athletics Championships in Munich. We'll be back live for the evening session of athletics soon, but in the meantime, here's some highlights from these championships so far. Men's triple jump.
Well, Pichardo's added a European title to that world title from a few weeks ago in Eugene, and indeed his first round effort of 17.05 would have been good enough for gold, but then he extended it in the second round. And we're finally getting a smile out of the man I call the passive Portuguese, the massive Portuguese jumper. It's been a good night's work for Pedro Pichardo, and he's proving once again to be not just Europe's, but the world's top triple jumper.
But I said it when we started this men's triple jump competition. Pichardo, when we go to the Diamond Leagues and the circuit, he's not always the best, but I love it that he brings that little bit extra magic and oomph to the championship arena. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen him relax and smile like that before taking a jump. It's been a big season for Pichardo. At World Indoors would have been disappointing, losing out on the gold medal there. Managed to get the gold over in Oregon and adding another gold here. And I love that. He did look relaxed. He looked like he was enjoying himself, and it nearly showed in his jumping.
Yes, well, 4 years ago, Nelson Avora became the very first men's Portuguese champion, following in his footsteps. One Olympic champion triple jumper to another. From Nelson Avora, the baton has been passed to this man, Pedro Pablo Pichardo.
Congrats to the gold medal. It was an impressive win for you. The next one.
Sí, fue un buen título. Era un título que estaba a espera, un título que también estaba en falta. Y estoy muy feliz.
Yeah, it was a good title. It's one of the titles that I was chasing, so I'm really happy with that.
You feel very confident from the first jump on.
No, por acaso no. Por acaso sabía hacer un bom salto y sempre estive à procura, mas só consegui fazer 17.50.
I wasn't that confident. It might look like it, but I wasn't that confident. So I was trying to get a good jump from the first attempt, but that didn't come out. So I was looking for something further than that.
Obrigado.
Yes. Well, we're hearing from our director that the competition on the track will commence at the bottom of the hour, 20:30. That's Central European time. Of course, as I've said on more than one occasion, if you're in Great Britain, Ireland, Portugal, or the Canary Islands in Spain, that of course is 1 hour behind, so it'll be 19:30 in those countries. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a brief break for commentary and rejoin us again about 5 minutes before the competition gets underway.
To keep up with all of the events happening in Munich as part of the European Championships, head over munich2022.com. We'll be back live for the evening session of athletics soon, but in the meantime, here's some highlights from these championships so far. Men's 400 meters.
And they're away. And it is indeed Matthew Hudson-Smith who's started very, very quickly. He's closing down already on Bonavaccia. Also running well, Haydock Wilson out in lane 6. It's the two Britons at the moment who are really pouring it on over the first half of this race. Haydock Wilson having a really good first 200 metres as they come into the second bend. Hudson-Smith now tired just a little bit down the back straight, but it's Haydock Wilson now holding on, but overtaking him on the inside, running a terrific bend and really going through the gears down the home straight. It's as we expected. Hudson-Smith pouring it on. He's got a European title to defend and he's doing it with aplomb. Petrossi comes through a distant second, but there's no doubting at all. Unofficially, 44-54, European champion once again. It's Great Britain's Matthew Hudson-Smith.
What a season for Matt Hudson-Smith, retaining his 400-metre title. When he won in Berlin, everyone was saying, oh, we knew that was coming for ages, and then it was a torrid 4 years for Matt Hudson-Smith on and off the track.
Here's a few stats. Matthew Hudson-Smith's winning time just 1/100th of a second outside the long-standing European Championship record of Ewan Thomas, which dates back to 1998. Ricky Petrossi just 1/100th outside his own personal best. Alex Haydock Wilson, a cracking run from the young Briton, 9/100ths outside his personal best.
He has said this year that he doesn't care too much about the times, he just wants to add to his medal collection. That's exactly what he's done. Petrossi, someone who only 3 years ago was a European under-20 medalist, and that was bronze, so senior 3 years later and one higher step on the podium.
Congrats to the gold medal. You defend your title. Was the second one more complicated than the first one?
No, this was a lot more easy. In fact, it was just literally come away with the victory. I knew what I needed to do. I'm in great shape. I didn't want to force it. Just come home strong, and I did exactly that.
And you now, the next opportunity for you is with your friends and guys to catch the title.
Yeah, definitely want to get revenge and, you know, show the world Great Britain are back in the 4x4, and I look forward to showing them.
Women's pole vault.
So here is Vilma Murto, second attempt at 4 metres and 85. This would be another addition to her national record. A huge personal best with 13 centimetres more than she'd ever jumped before coming into this competition. And the Finn manages it, looking good. That equals the championship record of Katalini Stefanidi. Not always the smoothest of trajectories. Vilma Murto still holds the world junior record from 2016. 4 metres and 71 indoors. Took her 6 years to do any better than that. 4 metres 72 this season, equal 6th at the World Championships, equal 5th at the Olympics. But now Vilma Murto is European champion. I'm sure the wave of the arms meant I am absolutely done, mentally and physically. I've won a gold medal. I've massively increased my own national record. I've equalled the championship record. Vilma Murto of Finland walks away with a gold medal.
Well, it's a historic moment for Finland, as you said. The last gold medalist amongst the Finnish women was Sari Essayah in the walks back in 1994. In fact, it's only the 5th gold medal by a Finnish woman, even amongst those 20-odd medals that the men have got since the women started contesting the European Championships back in 1938. 84 years, 5 gold medals, and this is the latest one.
All right, 485. Tonight was your night.
Tonight was my night. I've been waiting for that a long time. I'm very happy to have this night for me today.
All right, so it didn't start off so great. You had a couple misses at low heights, and did that put any fear in you, or you just brushed it off? Oh, obviously, but.
Of course, I don't want to miss a bar, but at the same time, I felt like everything's going to be fine and I don't need to do anything extraordinary. Just do what I do what I know how to do, and that will bring the result that resembles where I'm at right now. So I was pretty okay all the time, but I was happier to clear on the first than the second.
Yeah, okay, so the winning height took you one miss. You came, when you cleared it, take us what was going through your mind when you knew.
My coach already showed me, like, we're done. I was like, no, I'll go one more time. I'm very happy I took that last jump and cleared it, but at the same time, like, in that moment, there was so much emotion that came out of me. I was like, okay, now I'm done. And the 85 felt like it was in my reach, so I felt like the flow was still going and I had a good shot at it, so I went for it.
Okay, now, when you came into the competition, did you envision that you'd be standing on top of that podium?
I didn't count that out.
Yes, of course.
I was thinking of a medal, and also I was thinking like there is 5 or 6 women who are going to be, who have that podium spot in their reach, and I believed I was in that top 5 or 6, and that's where I stopped the speculation and just jumped as well as I could. And then I saw my name go from 3rd to 1st, and I was like, okay, this I can be very happy about this.
Oh man, that's an indescribable feeling, I'm sure. So everybody in Finland they got to be thrilled, more as thrilled as you are.
We haven't had too many medals in the past few decades, I think. Only a few, and also like the Finns in Finland and the Finns here. I had so many people here to watch me jump, my friends and family and loved ones, and could not have been better than today.
All right, congratulations, European gold, Finland national record, of course, and just happy feeling all around.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks.
Yes. Well, we're hearing from our director that the competition on the track will commence at the bottom of the hour, 20:30. That's Central European time. Of course, as I've said on more than one occasion, if you're in Great Britain, Ireland, Portugal, or the Canary Islands in Spain, that of course is 1 hour behind, so it'll be 19:30 in those countries. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a brief break for commentary and rejoin us again about 5 minutes before the competition gets underway.
To keep up with all of the events happening in Munich as part of the European Championships, head over munich2022.com. We'll be back live for the evening session of athletics soon, but in the meantime, here's some highlights from these championships so far. Women's 400 meters.
And they're off. It's like a fast start from Anna Kilbasinska of Poland, just working her way up to try and get on turn to Femke Bol. Femke Bol said it's a totally different stride pattern and judgment of effort when there's no barriers in the way. Kilbasinska was gaining ground on Femke Bol, but I feel like Femke Bol is just getting into her running as we hit the 200-meter mark. Lika Klaver of the Netherlands is in the lead at the moment. Lika Klaver so often strong through the first 200, and she does supremely well at finishing it off nowadays. The last couple of years have seen Lika Klaver go from strength to strength. She did the national record in Oregon, but she had to relinquish that to Femke Bol. Femke Bol at the moment powering away. Kastrek holding on to second. The young Adeleke of Ireland could be in the bronze medal position, but she's fading ever so slightly. It is going to be a win for Femke Bol, 49.44. She goes even faster than she did in Silesia. What a time from Femke Bol. We knew that could be coming. She was sub-49 split in the mixed relay in Oregon. And 49.44, Femke Bol, European lead. Winning margin of half a second over Kaczmarek and Kilbasinska of Poland. Really good under pressure in the closing stages to make it a 2-3 for Poland.
So this young woman, who's better known as a 400 hurdler, now has the indoor and outdoor European 400 flat titles. And Carsten Warholm joked to her in the press conference, you're going to need some good luck to try and do this double. But she's blown the competition away. Kaczmarek is always such a fast finisher, half a second behind, but another very strong performance from her. Close to that time earlier in the year. Adeleke, bit of disappointment for her. There was a good battle over that bronze position, just won there by Kilbasinska.
National record for Adeleke down there in 5th place, matching the accomplishment of Israel Olatunde. He had a national record for 6th place in the 100 metres last night. Great running from the young Irish teammates.
She cancelled her holiday in Mexico, I believe, to come here to Munich, so that's exactly what she wanted. Someone who has so much talent over 100 and 200, but just look at her strength and prowess over 400 as well. So Femke Bol goes up from 26th to 15th on the European all-time list.
Women's hammer throw.
Final two throws. Brzezianska requires better than 72-22. The Polish woman launches that hammer, and that is close. You can see the gold line. It may not be good enough, but Brzezianska giving everything in the final run. That's what you want to see. Once you've got a great mark, a new lifetime best. 72-12, so just 10 centimetres in it in the end. Look at the sigh of relief for Bianca Gelber.
Bianca Gelber has been around so long. I know that she came 6th place at the World Championships back in 2011. Matched that in the recent years as well. This is just a tremendous kind of turning of the screw, bringing the pressure here, taking advantage of the absence of the likes of Anita Wlodarczyk.
Yeah, won plenty of titles over the years, Balkan champion, Francophone as well, but this will mean so much to the Romanian. So one last throw to try and add a bit of gloss to the title. But this is someone who won 2 World Under-18 titles, 2 World Under-20 titles from the age of 15 onwards, from 2005 to 2008, and this really is the crowning glory for her. And great to see Romania win gold as well, and to see it shared among the nations. That's no disrespect to the Poles, who've been so dominant in this event on both the men's and the women's side. But Bianca Gelber is the European hammer champion. 72-72, it was an improvement in the end.
Yes, this result is very good. It's very important for me because my family is here with me, and I'm very happy for this.
All right, take us through your throws. I mean, it was 70, you know, more than 70.
Yes, I was very constant.
Is this what you expected? I mean, did you expect to be so dominant?
I don't know. I wish to be... I don't know. I don't know. Thank you so much for this competition, for these people, because it's here with me, and thank you.
All right, now one more. Your first throw was the best throw, so you had to wait all night and wonder.
Yes, the first was a better throw for me, but I want to next year to make medals to championship world.
All right, well, congratulations on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Men's 110 meters hurdles.
A really good start then by Pozzi. Juan Marte just taking the lead. Martinez alongside him. Martino Lagarde trying to power through. Look at his strength, but so close with Martinez. Martino Lagarde, he hopes he's won this title, but there was so little in it. So often say you can throw a blanket over them.
For my money, that was Martinez. He looked sluggish in the early stages. He was put under immense pressure by Pascal Martino Lagarde. And it does go to Martinez, European lead. The previous European leader, Sasha Zoya, falling to the ground midway through the late race, but the same time given to Pascal Martino Lagarde. I thought he was going to pull it off. A brilliant performance nonetheless from Pascal Martino Lagarde.
It's been a brilliant season then for Asier Martinez, getting closer to Orlando Ortega's 13.04, the fastest ever by a Spanish man. And let's see who gets this bronze medal. So close, battling there for her as well, but Asier Martinez just seemed to have the strength there against Martino Lagarde. It will, however, be 2 Frenchmen on that podium. Just Juan Marte, 13.33, very close to his lifetime best from June. Joseph just beaten out of it ahead of his teammate Finlay Gayo.
But there's no doubting Asier Martinez takes the gold. The very first Spaniard to be European champion in the 110 metres hurdles. They've got a couple of bronzes in the past. It was tight, but both myself and Hannah England alongside me thought Martinez was going to get the verdict. And once they looked at the photo finish and started counting the thousands, it was Martinez who indeed was crowned the victor, just getting the verdict ahead of the defending champion, Pascal Martineau-Lagarde. Both men timed at 13:14.
So following a bit of a weather delay, looks like we are very close to getting action underway. My name's Alex Seftel, Phil Minchon and Helen England alongside me for this evening session inside the wonderful Olympiastadion in Munich. So 200 metres semi-finals on the track, the conclusion of the heptathlon. We have the men's high jump and hammer and women's long jump over the next couple of hours. So hopefully you can stay glued and with us throughout the evening.
So the men's 200 metre semi-finalists are out on the track for the first of 3 semi-finals. Looking here at this new sensation from Israel, Blessing Afrifa won the world under-20 title in a European under-20 record. But it's 2 to go through as of right, and 2 fastest non-automatic qualifiers. And there's a German in here, Joshua Hartman. Inevitably that's going to lead to huge roars from this crowd, and their spirits certainly haven't been dampened. So we're ready now to get underway. In the outside, it's Italy's Esarosa Desalu, fastest man in the heats this morning at 20:46. And there you can see lots of very, very keen Italian fans. They're also here to see Filippo Tortu in one of the later heats. We're missing Simon Hansen in lane 6, so we switch to lane, I should say lane 7. Lane 6 is Joshua Hartman, part of Germany's gold medal winning 4x1 team at last year's European Under-23 Championships. Now Zarnell Hughes. Hughes has run at 2012, has a lifetime best of 20:02. He's going searching for that sub-20 clocking. Blessing Afrifa, just 18 years of age, and winning in Cali just a couple of weeks ago. Ran a European under-20 record of 1996, and into the bargain an Israeli record as well. Mamadou Fall, 5th in the 100 metres final on Tuesday. A very good Frenchman. Also has reduced his personal best this year to 20:26. Inside him, in lane 2, the Czech record holder, Jan Jurka. Has a lifetime best of 20:45 to his name. Not quite as quick this year. Had to come through the first round this morning. And on the inside, it's the reigning Polish champion, 20-year-old Łukasz Zok. So as they settle down from the inside, Zok of Poland, Zurka Czech Republic, Fall of France, Afrifa of Israel, Hughes of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Hartman of Germany, and out in lanes 8, Desalu of Italy. The first semi-final of the men's 200 metres.
Set.
Well, it's Hughes who's away the quickest at the moment. Afrifa slightly caught in his blocks. Also running well at the moment is Hartman, but now Afrifa starting to power down the home straight. But the long legs of Hughes moving him forward. Afrifa, ragged technique, and Hartman caught the Israeli on the line, but there's no doubt at all about the winner. Zarnell Hughes carrying over his form from the 100 metres final 2 nights ago, looking very sharp indeed. He was out quickly and then just stretched his lead down the home straight. Hartman came through so strongly over the final 50 metres as Afrifa tired. I'm just wondering whether that long trip to Colombia backwards and forwards is still in his legs. 2019 to Hughes, Hartman personal best of 20:33. They're through to tomorrow's final. Afrifa at 20:34 and Desalu at 20:48. We'll have to wait and see whether they get through as the fastest non-automatic qualifiers.
Great run of Hartman, and you could see what that lifetime best meant to the German athlete. But Afrifa there for me just showing a bit of lack of experience. He eased up before the line. He didn't see the need to go along with Zarnell Hughes. You can see Afrifa there with that blue number on, indicating he is the UK lead, the European lead. But for me, Zarnell Hughes just ran a very relaxed bend and then lifted and brought a bit more speed into the straight. Afrifa ran a great bend. He converted that fantastically well into the straight, as did Hartman. Is at this point now where Zarnell Hughes of Great Britain and Northern Ireland just got into his running and stretched away from the rest of the field. And Afrifa, for me, he didn't dip, he didn't run through the line. And instead, Joshua Hartman did. He executed the race a full 200 metres. He could see that Afrifa was still there. And just dipped across the line for that second automatic qualifying time. 20.33 the time for the German, 20.34 isn't massively fast. That wouldn't put you in the top 8 kind of European times for the season. Of course, athletes have got to come here and produce it this evening in Munich. It's a bit wet. It's not perfect sprinting conditions, but hats off to Joshua Hartman for getting the job done.
Yes, it's a bit wet and it's cooling out there. Confirmation of the times, as we talked about. Afrifa, still a very raw talent. Some of his technique, I think, down the home straight will have his coach scratching his head. He'll be looking back at him and just perhaps giving him a bit of advice, maybe just giving him a few drills just to try and get him back into the groove that he had in Colombia at the World Under-20 Championships.
Be right, Phil. We've talked about the senior athletes and some of them having 3 championships, but Cali, Colombia is a long way from Munich in Germany, and for the Israeli athlete, that's a busy old summer already, and beating Letzer Tobogo in that 200-metre final was super impressive, dipping underneath 20 seconds. It's no surprise that perhaps Afrifa is a little bit sluggish, a little bit tired. I kind of hope he gets away with that. I hope he learns from it, but still gets the opportunity to compete in the final, because I think he deserves that. He's the European lead. It would be a massive shame not to see Blessing Afrifa in the final. But yeah, nonetheless, a lot of our athletes here are just gaining massive experience alongside trying to represent their country as well as they possibly can.
Well, the crowds are coming back from under the roofs. The rain has abated. A bit later on, we'll have confirmation of the start times for the men's high jump. I think the women long jumpers are going to come out in fairly short order. We saw them in the call room. The men's hammer, of course, a little bit dangerous with a wet circle. I think they're going to try and dry that circle out a bit more. I can see the men's high jumpers have just come out in the last couple of minutes and are just testing out the mat. They have covering on it, so hopefully the mat isn't going to be too wet. It's going to be the women's long jumpers. There's no safety issues, but it's not very pleasant at all, as you were saying, jumping into very wet, sodden sand.
No. Wet sand, I mean, it's never mind the actual feel of it. It's not very pleasant. It's going to be cold. That's going to affect the muscles and the kit as well when you're landing in wet sand and you get a bit soggy, but it also makes it quite hard, and that can be painful as well. We haven't seen many of the athletes out in their warm-up kit on the track. Usually they're down here already in their shorts and vests, but the officials quite rightly allowing the athletes to keep their clothes on. And well, I thought Tentoglu might have the award for biggest flag, but if that gets handed to someone like Gianmarco Tamberi, that Italian flag might win the title of biggest flag for a medalist.
I'm wondering whether there are people sitting underneath those seats there. They're trying to keep themselves warm, but not so. Purola there, he's got his cap again, which seems strange when he was wearing it in hot weather, but it is a good luck charm. He wore it in training, felt like he was running faster, running better, and as a result he's kept it in competition. But it did seem more unusual, both in Tallinn at the Under-23s last year and in the really hot weather. And he did just squeeze through though, so he's continued to wear it.
Camo just giving Charlie Dobson a bit of attention there. He did dip under 20 seconds in America at the start of the year, but it was wind aided. I love the superstitions of various athletes. Purola choosing to wear his hat, I mean, that's a pretty controllable one, you know, not like some of the other elements that athletes try and control and rely on. Purola can always remember to pack his cap. 20.77 this morning wearing it. Lane 7 will be Diego Petrossi of Italy. He was second in Heat 3 this morning. He's the national champion. And he's enjoying the atmosphere here in Munich. Plenty of fans in this morning. Ramil Guliev of Turkey has the gold number on of reigning champion. He did a championship record back in Berlin 4 years ago, 1976. Lane 5 will be Niva Zizi of France. 10:21 in the semi-final of the 100, entered at that stage, so he's just on the one race here in Munich. Back for more here in the men's 200. Charlie Dobson, Great Britain and Northern Ireland, goes in lane 4. It'll be useful when we look towards the 4x4 relay. He's done a 45.1 and a 20.19 legal 200-metre time this season. Owen Amser of Germany is in lane 3, still just 21 years old. He made the semi-final in the 100. Thanking the crowd for their support. Gediminas Trukauskas of Lithuania is in lane 2. You can see many Lithuanians here. They have a couple throughout the championships. Daniel Rodriguez of Spain goes on the tight inside lane. Won the Spanish national championships and he did 20.8 this morning. But when the ground's a little bit wet, lane 1 might be even more problematic than it can be. Not the favourite of sprinters at all. Seem to prefer 4, 5, 6, do a lot of their training in 5 and 6 just to save the joints on those gentler bends on the outside lanes. Frifra and Desalu watching on all their times stand through this semi-final. This is the second semi-final. Top 2 automatically qualify through to the final. Guliev of Turkey has the fastest personal best. He's not quite the form he was in 2017, 2018, and he's struggling ever so slightly to live with Zizi of France. And Charlie Dobson just put in a big kick with 100 metres to go. Charlie Dobson of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, at the moment miles ahead of the field. Can he relax over the line? Yes, what a dip from Guliev of Turkey, showing why he's the defending champion. Guliev quite smartly, quite maturely running all the way to the line there. Denying everyone else with an automatic qualifying spot. Charlie Dobson, though, that was a deceptive bend. He looked pretty relaxed and then used the slingshot of the bend to power himself into the straight and stride away from the rest of a pretty quality field, including that defending champion.
Yes, impressive when you consider that an athlete with basically no international senior experience comes straight into the semi-final. It looked like he was actually a bit nervous just observing his facial expression on the start line, but breaking into a smile there, running 20.21. And sometimes when an athlete has a big improvement, you just wonder whether they'll live up to that, whether they'll match that on the big stage. And in this semi-final, that's really impressive because his lifetime best 20.19, just outside the top 10 on the British all-time list, and going very close to that. Looked like he was starting to fade a little down the home straight, and you expected the other athletes to chase and to arrive right on his shoulder, but didn't quite. Ramil Guliev, I wonder whether he has more to come. And obviously some athletes, although they'll be grateful to go straight into the semi-final, there's less chance to build momentum through the rounds. Ramil Guliev, let's have a look here. He does just get that second spot, qualifying after his wife progressed earlier this morning.
Busy day for their household. And Zizi's 10.47, unseated, literally and figuratively, Desalu of Italy. He won't be in a non-automatic qualifying spot or the hot seat. Frifra survives another round. Just 2 non-automatic qualifying spots. Zizi and Frifra have to wait there. Guliev just catching up on that, the lactic, taking a moment. I'm sure if he's got some interviews to do through the mix zone, he'd rather be coherent. One more semi-final left to go in the men's 200. We've had a slight delay to the start of the programme because of this wet weather. And one of the events that's been pushed back a tiny bit is this men's hammer throw final, just to make sure the circle is safe and dry. The officials have been out there, the athletes have been warming up, and they're ready to go. Hilmar Jonsson of Iceland is the first to be introduced to the crowd. the third place at NCAs a few years ago. Didn't make the final in Eugene, but he has here in Munich. Cienfuegos of Spain is up next. Proud Spanish representative. I love it when they thump their chest like that. He did well to make this final, very solid in qualification. Ragnar Carlson of Sweden will throw 9th. He's been introduced 3rd. Harsh, perhaps. I think he got a bronze medal at the European Throws Championship back in March. That was a great performance for the Swedish athlete. A new personal best of 77 metres this season. I did kind of get a feeling anyone that gets it right here in this hammer throw final could snatch the bronze medal. Christos Franzakis of Greece is a really consistent performer. He's only 22 years old. Every time he turns up, it seems very solid to me. And that could be just the platform he needs to build on if he wants to get his first senior medal. Sergei Markev of Moldova has been 10th at the Olympic Games twice. Holds the Moldovan national record, 72 centimetres. Great Britain and Northern Ireland, Nick Miller is next to the gate. Double Commonwealth Games champion, retained that title in Birmingham a few weeks ago. 11th at the World Championships, holds the national record back from 2018. This is Quentin Bigot of France, silver medal at the 2019 World Championships, loads of top 5s, and he actually put on social media he was very happy with his 4th place at the World Championships through a personal best over 80 metres. And he said there's sort of an assumption that 4th is disappointing. Actually, he thought it was a very good showing. Ivan Henriksen of Norway is up next. He picked up a silver medal in Tokyo last year and a bronze at the World Championships despite atrial fibrillation. I'm not quite up to date on my medical terms, sort of heart arrhythmia. And he checked his smartwatch during the championships and really felt something was wrong. Went straight off to the hospital, but he said he's here and he's fit and he's happy to throw. Bent Hals is next. New personal best to come 5th at the World Championships. He looked good in qualification. Got a bronze medal in the 2019 World Championships, and certainly one of the athletes that could get the bronze medal. Mikhailo Kokkan of Ukraine was 4th at the Tokyo Olympic Games at the age of 20, 7th at the World Championships last month. He's done a decent 78.83 this season. And then we're on to the 2 big hitters. I've been talking about the bronze medal because surely the gold is going to Poland. Pavel Fidek accepts the applause of the crowd. He became a 5-time world champion in Eugene. But he doesn't have the European title at the moment. That is with this man. Wojciech Nowicki is the Olympic champion and the defending European champion. He did have the world lead until we made our way over to Oregon. Can he regain the title he won here in Berlin? All 3 medalists back to have another go. Nowicki, Fidek, Bent Hallers was your podium 4 years ago in Berlin.
So, the last of 3 semi-finals of the men's 200 metres. There is Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake, medalist 4 years ago in Berlin, behind Ramil Guliev. Jan Volko, 4th in the 100 metres. That's perhaps his better of the 2 sprints. Also a 60 specialist, 3 times European indoor medalist. One of Slovakia's biggest hopes at these championships. Once again, he's seated on the outside, but a deja vu compared to heat, which he's progressed through from, as has Tamir Burnett, who moves one in. Impressive earlier on. His lifetime best is 20:34, goes back to Doha 2019. Paul Retamal, well, Spain won this title in 2016 with Bruno Hortelano. His PB is from Nerja in southern Spain in June 2028. Filippo Tortu, the first Italian to break 10 seconds for 100 metres, 9:99. Pietro Menea's long-standing record, it's 1972 over 200 and remains since 1979. Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake, 20.05 this year, a 10th off his best ever. Got the 4x1 gold alongside his individual silver last time out in Berlin 4 years ago. Ryan Zeze of France, European under-23 bronze medalist in 2019. We saw Meba Michael Zeze before. William Race, decent name that for a sprinter, isn't it? Or for any track athlete. And he is the under-23 European reigning champion from last year in Tallinn. Patrick Vikrota of Poland will go on the inside. Now he's improved this year from 2094 to 2067.
On your marks.
So one Zeze competing and the other looks on. You can see the middle lanes, no qualification time. That's because they have come straight through to these semi-finals. And free for the other athlete watching on, the 18-year-old from Israel. So Vikrota, Race, Zeze, Mitchell Blake, Tortu, Retamal, Burnett and Volko. The third semi-final of the men's 200 metres. So top two automatic spots. How will they be filled? Tortu going well, Mitchell Blake on his inside, hoping to join Dobson as a heat winner from a moment ago. Zeze also chasing in the white, and maybe a France. Tortu now starting to come through with Mitchell Blake. Volko nice on the outside, but Tortu takes it from Nathaniel Mitchell Blake in 20.29. The wind, as it has pretty much throughout these championships, remaining pretty still, and hopefully, if it is a bit better conditions in the final, that will bode well for some fast wind legal times. And also bodes well for Afrifa and Zeze, just waiting on those times though, but Tortu and Mitchell Blake are through.
Well, Afrifa knows that he got through once he saw Mitchell Blake's time come up. Retamel takes the second non-automatic qualifier with that blistering last 30 metres that takes him through to third place. But it was an outstanding performance from Tortu, who we basically associate with being a 100-metre runner. We haven't seen too many times when he's actually come to a championship and raced over 200 metres, of course famed for taking the Italians home to gold at the Olympics. Mitchell Blake makes it 3 Britons in the final, and the last time there wasn't a Briton on the podium in the 200 metres was back in 1994. So Britain, a great tradition in the 200 metres at the European Championships. Race, well, he'll have to think about what he can do in the future. His race has run 4 today.
I'd like to do an honourable mention for Volko. All 3 rounds of the 100 metres, finishing up in 4th place. Had to do the opening round here in the 100 and has come through in a season's best. Couldn't automatically qualify. That award went to the men in the middle, Mitchell Blake and Tortu.
Yes, you can see on the replay, Mitchell Blake having an excellent start. So too Ryan Zeze, the younger brother of Meba Michael Zeze, but then Tortu starts to pull away. At this stage it looked as though Retamel was going to get up there, but then that final surge from Mitchell Blake, silver medalist 4 years ago in Berlin, and he's looking as though once again he's going to contest the medals on German soil. Tortu though, I think there's still plenty more to come. European record is still in Italian hands at 1972, dating back from 1979. A record that stood 43 years. Yes, it was actually set in the altitude-assisted climate of Mexico City, but it's still a formidable mark when you consider how many people have tried to attack it. Phalanx of Britons, Huliev. Will it fall perhaps here? I have my doubts, but nevertheless, it's going to be a thrilling final.
Yeah, 3 British athletes in it. Filippo Tortu, who was the Italian Sportsperson of the Year when he broke the 100 national record back in 2018, and that's no mean feat really. The likes of Stefano Baldini, Marcel Jacobs last year, Gigi Buffon, Roberto Mancini have all achieved that.
So now we have the presentation for the men's high jump. Coming out first, it's the Czech jumper Jan Stafala. Well, Stafala, just a 2:23 jumper at best. Might find this a real difficult competition to get on top of. Joel Clark-Kahn. Clark-Kahn crashed out in qualifying at the World Championships last month, but here contesting the medals, coached by the former European champion Robbie Grabarts, and I'm sure Grabarts is in the crowd somewhere. This is another perhaps man who's probably an outsider for a medal, the young Frenchman Sébastien Michaud. Nevertheless, followed in the footsteps of Michael Hanani. Jonas Wagner, one of 3 Germans in this competition, and a big roar for the German student of physics at the University of Dresden. Thomas Carmoy, the Belgian, good Belgian, 2021 European indoor bronze medalist when he got 3rd place in Turin in March last year. Marco Fazzanotti of Italy, well, one-time Italian record holder when he cleared 2:35. That was a few years ago. That was back in 2015. But nevertheless, starting to come back into form this year. Douwe Amels. Well, Amels has been the Dutch #1 for a very, very long time, since he was the European under-23 champion 9 years ago. 15 times the Dutch champion, 8 indoors, 8 out. This is Tiamore Ivanov, the Bulgarian. Well, Ivanov has made a number of major finals over the years. 2019 World Student Games champion. One of 2 Ukrainians in this final. Oleg Doroshuk. Doroshuk, just 21 years of age. 2nd in the European Under-20 Championships back in 2019. Tobias Poiter. Well, Poiter has improved this year to 2:30. I think he could, spurred on by this crowd, be a potential medal contender. Former European Under-20 champion. That was back in 2013. Now 20 years of age, but in the best form of his life. Andrei Protsenko got the silver medal back in 2014. And after 7 attempts at World Championships, managed to take a medal at the World Championships last month. This is Gianmarco Tamberi. Well, not much more needs to be said about him. 2016 European champion, 2021 Olympic champion, best of 2:39. Not quite in the same form as last year, but nevertheless one of the men you'd be looking for to be challenging for gold. And this is the defending champion. He's had years of injury after Berlin 2018. Just wait for the roar as he's introduced to the crowd. Maciej Bryzbilko, and he's back over 2:30 this year. The defending champion, one of 3 very good Germans in this competition. So the big booming music means that it's time for the women's 200-meter semi-finals. This is the first of 3 semi-finals, and as with the men, it's the first 2 automatic qualifiers and the 2 fastest non-automatic. They will get the places in the final. So this is the 6-time Belgian champion, Imke Verweyt. Came through the qualifiers, ran a personal best of 23:05 in her heat this morning. Olivia Fotopoulou of Cyprus, the Balkan indoor champion earlier this year at 60 metres. In lane 6, the very good Dane, Ida Katarina Karlsoft. Karlsoft taken the Danish 200 metres record down in several increments this year. Current personal best, 22:67. Corinna Schwab, well, she's had a busy championships. Made the semi-finals of the 400 metres. 200 metres, probably her better distance. Has improved to a personal best of 22.51 this year. Jamil Samuel, 2018 European 200 metres bronze medalist. Now looking to get into the final and challenge for another medal over this distance. In lane 3, looking sharp this morning, Jodie Williams ran 22.92. That equalled her season's best. Has a best going back to 2014 when she was the European silver medalist of 22.46. Best known as a 400 metre runner, dropping down here to the sprint. This is Leonor Poiner. He's in the heats this morning. He's 21 years of age. This is her first major international championship. And on the inside, Lisa Lilja of Sweden, 4 times the Swedish champion, twice indoors and twice outdoors. She's on the inside.
On your marks.
Keep an eye on Karlstoft in lane 6, Schwab in 5, and Samuel in 4. As they settle into their blocks, it's Lilja of Sweden in lane 1, Poiner, Switzerland 2, Williams, Great Britain, Samuel, Netherlands, Schwab, Germany, Karlstoft, Denmark, Fotopoulou, Cyprus, and on the outside for Veit of Belgium. Oh, it's a false start. Didn't get too far around the track. Once again, Chief Referee Chris Cohen presiding over proceedings. Yeah.
I think they might just be recalling that because Leonie Corentin of Switzerland wasn't ready yet. There you can see the green card. They should wait until all athletes have come up into the set position before firing the gun, and I think decided that it probably wasn't fair to let the race go ahead.
Well, she's saying that she didn't hear the officials saying get into the set position.
No rules infringed, a green card.
So it's a green card, a faulty start. The women are recalled. Just run through the lineup once again. Lilja, Poiner, Williams, Samuel, Schwab, Karlstoft, Fotopoulou and Ververt. And they're away cleanly this time. Samuel gets an extremely good start. So too does Karlstoft. Those are the 2 women who are heading to the home straight in front. Schwab now starting to pick it up, and Williams has come through in lane 3. Williams has run an excellent bend and now really starting to motor. It's Karlstoft and Williams, that's 1 and 2 at the moment. Samuel comes through in 3rd. She'll have to wait to see whether she gets through as a fastest non-automatic qualifier. Well, Williams didn't start terribly well, but that second 50 metres, she absolutely picked up magnificently, blazed down the home straight, really accelerated hard coming off the bend. Karlstoft started well, came through and finished well as well. She takes the victory. 22.73 for the Dane, 23.03 for Williams. Just fractionally slower than her heat this morning, but they were much better conditions for sprinting. Samuel, 23.13.
Great bend running all round there, to be honest. Jodie Williams has been training for 400 the last couple of years. She's been horribly injured this year, so perhaps that start not what it should be if you'd had time to practice that, but the strength coming through at the end. But Denmark's Karlstoft, that was fantastic. You know, the speed she went through the bend, you're thinking, has she got anything else left to give? But the Danish athlete really, really did. That was a dominant performance. It'll be interesting to watch these other 2 semi-finals unfold. for me at the moment. Either cast-off looking really hard to beat.
It looks like Fotopoulou got up there for fourth, but I don't think she'll quite get into the final. That's relatively slow time, 23:33, and there's some good women in the 2 heats to come.
So we're into round one of the women's. We've had that was last night. Bianca Gelber took gold, Eva Franzakis the silver, Sara Fantini the bronze, and this is the men's hammer competition. Bence Haller's certainly one of the men I wrote down as capable of getting a medal. The Hungarian is drifting his way across the circle. He was really good in qualification, and wow, first round effort from Bence Haller's. That looks good. He's keeping his cards very close to his chest. Nice, measured, controlled walk away from the circle. He knows this could be a really, really good final. We talked about the heavy throws becoming a lot more of a global event. As I say, men's hammer and men's discus, though, still dominated by Europeans. Bence Haller's first round effort, 78 metres, 20 centimetres, enough to go up into the lead at the moment. Next up is Olympic champion and defending champion Wojciech Nowicki of Poland. He's the only person that's beaten Fidek this season in the big meets. I think, not including some of the smaller kind of Polish meets these men have done. But Nowicki, slightly despondent there, didn't give anything away, but that's big. Wow. Wojciech Nowicki with a big first round effort as well, piling the pressure on the rest of the field. Even Henriksen is kind of the only person that's got in between Wojciech Nowicki and Pavel Fidek this season. There's a lot of men that could pick up a bronze or cause an upset if either of the big Polish athletes falter at all. But Wojciech Nowicki looking very good in the first round, 78 metres 95, a lead by 3/4 of a metre. That makes good reading for Polish fans. There's Nicola Ska, still just 21 years old, an infant in heavy throws terms. Wow, this first round in the men's hammer throw competition is looking really hot. They've had a delay. They had to wait another 20 minutes. I think they had a shortened warm-up time from what I could tell. There was a lot of action done with drying the circuit, making sure conditions were safe. Nicola Ska didn't need any warming into this competition. Looks like that could be an increase on Wojciech Nowicki's previous throw. Let's see what it's measured at. Not quite, 78 metres, 48 centimetres. Second place for Nicola Ska. Bence Haller's in third. And the Olympic champion Wojciech Nowicki holding the lead at the moment as we work our way through round one in the men's hammer competition. Whilst we've got some heavy implements being thrown around on the inside, we've got another semi-final, women's semi-final number 2. Question marks over Dina Asha Smith and how she's feeling. She had cramp in both calves. Didn't manage to complete her race in the 100 metres. Full 8 competitors down there though. Burkhardt of Germany goes in lane 7. There's Jemima Joseph of France, just 20 years old, out in lane 8. Alexandra Burkhardt taking the applause of the German crowd. Lane 6 is Dalia Kaderi. She pipped Sharika Jackson at the Olympics, knocking Sharika Jackson out of the semi-final. That was quite the story in Tokyo last year. Lane 5 is Nicola Ska, around 23:32 this morning to progress from the opening round. Much sunnier and warmer this morning. We've got a persistent drizzle here this afternoon. Cole, just 21 years old, testing herself against the very best in Europe. And she's got one of the best in Europe inside of her. She will be very aware of that. Dina Asha Smith is the defending champion. She made the final in the 100 and then really just slowed right down, concerned about cramp in both of her calves, thought she might tear them if she carried on. Let's hope Dina Asha Smith is fully recovered for this 200 metres. Lika Klaver goes in lane 3. This is her favourite event. She loves the 200. She competes in the 400 begrudgingly. Got her 4th place in the World Championships though. She was 6th in the 400 last night here at the Europeans, but I imagine Lika Klaver's got that smile on her face for half a lap. Artemis Melina Anastasiou of Greece goes in lane 2. She's done a personal best this year, 23:31. Was 4th in the first heat this morning. And completing the lineup in lane 1, Reina Bazolo of Portugal, national record holder at 60 metres indoors, 100 and 200. It's second place in her heat this morning, 23:09 this season. So fastest from the 2022 outdoor season is Great Britain and Northern Ireland's Dina Asha Smith, 21:96, picked up a bronze medal at the World Championships, but question marks over whether Dina Asha Smith is healthy. We'll know a lot more in about 30 seconds. In the 400, we love to talk about Lika Klaver going out very fast. Could it be the opposite? Now we've moved to this half lap distance. Lika Klaver will be stalking Dina Asha Smith outside of her. Top 2 automatically qualify for the final. Dina Asha Smith looked great. That's a brilliant start. She's already ahead of Horowska of Poland. Dina Asha Smith flying round the bend. Alexandra Burkhardt having a great run for Germany on the outside lanes, but here comes Dina Asha Smith, the defending champion. She is running hard. She's running all the way to the line. Lika Klaver perhaps coming through strongly. Could be Lika Klaver of the Netherlands for second. It is Dina Asha Smith first. 22:53, so 0.2 of a second faster than the first heat. Good run in the first heat from Ida Karstroff. Dina Asha Smith sending a bit of a message out there. I'm sure she would have been keen to run hard all the way to the line to have the confidence that her legs are feeling good and she's okay. And a brilliant second place for Lika Klaver as well.
Well, Dina Asha Smith, I suppose she's wiped away some of those question marks and shaping up nicely for the final. That fantastic hat-trick in Berlin 4 years ago really helped her on her path to becoming a world-class sprinter. You can see there Burkhardt, the two-woman bobsleigh Winter Olympic silver medalist, is one of those in the hot seat at this point with one semi-final remaining, and Kodari also in a position of that ilk. But Dina, well, she's an experienced competitor now, but perhaps there would have been just a touch of nerves, and she would have known more about what kind of shape she's in as a result of competing in this race.
It was a great sprint between Burkhardt and Kodari all the way to the line, just separated by 100th of a second, giving them both the fastest non-automatic times at the moment, really pulling each other through the field and showing to any young athletes watching out there the importance of running through the line, executed so well by Dalia Kodari and Alexandra Burkhardt. In the end, Burkhardt staying just a tiny bit more relaxed, gathering herself for that dip. So they haven't qualified automatically. That will be Dina Asha Smith and Lika Klaver. But the German and the Italian doing a really good job of getting themselves into the final.
So in a few minutes' time, we'll see the likes of Mujinga Kambunji, who was so close to that 100 title a couple of nights ago. Let's see what the Swiss can do. Now, we've already seen some high jumping, some hammer throwing. They continue. We've also got the women's long jump final tonight, and one of the big fan favourites here in Munich. We'll see her in a moment. This is Gisha Thomas of Great Britain, also a great triple jumper, but her first European Outdoor Championships. And this kind of senior best did compete at the European Indoors. Philippa Fotopoulou, very close, 1 centimetre away from the Cypriot national record. Merle Hommeyer, one of the Germans in this final, 6:69 her PB, the European Under-23 silver medalist. Now, Milika Gardashevich was impressive in qualification. She equalled her best ever jump of 6:83. And she also has a teammate in this final, Ivana Valletta, who we'll see shortly. Yanis David of France, 2017 European Under-23 champion. 6.71 this year, 13 centimetres off her PB. Larissa Iapicino, European under-20 champion 3 years ago, and the daughter of 2 times world champion Fiona May. Her father, Gianni Iapicino, was an international pole vaulter as well. Alina Rotadu-Kotman of Romania, sure buoyed by the success of Bianca Gelber in the hammer last night, who won gold. And an outside contender for a medal. Kari Sagnia, someone who is trying to fulfill the potential, having jumped 6.95 this year at the Eugene Diamond League. Former youth Olympic champion 12 years ago. Did get a medal indoors in Torun, a bronze. Jasmine Sawyers, another athlete with great potential and experience as well. European silver medalist back in Zurich in 2014. 6.84 in Birmingham this year. Marina Bekromanchuk of Ukraine, someone who's also in the triple jump and has a whole host of international medals. European indoor champion last year in this event. Ivana Valletta, another athlete so accustomed to being right at the sharp end of Diamond League competitions and major championships. 7.24 at best. But the crowd really have come to see Malaika Mihambo. Well, you know what? We had a delay because of a thunderstorm and people moved right across the stadium so they could be covered by the roofs. But once they saw it wasn't too heavy, they moved back to be right next to the long jump.
Vince Hallard's just taking a moment to compose himself. This is round 2 of the men's hammer final. He's in 3rd place at the moment, 78 metres, 20 centimetres. Matching his bronze medal position from 4 years ago at the moment. Vince Hallard's just throwing his hands up with frustration. You can see the raindrops on the floor there. Tricky conditions for these men. That could be a slight improvement for Vince Hallard's. This throw at the moment, 78 metres 95 by Wojciech Nowicki. You can see that graphic on the screen. Halland's plonking his hammer down just short of that, so he could find a few extra centimetres on his 78 metre 26 throw. See, still persistent drizzle, maybe a little bit heavier than a drizzle. Here in Munich, we've had back-to-back sunshine so far. So an extra 6 centimetres for Vince Hallar's doesn't improve his placing. Pretty tight at the top there. Wojciech Nowicki is up next. 78 metres 95 in his first round effort. Got a best of 81.58 this season. Like I said, that was a world lead for quite a while until they went over to Eugene and Pavel Fidek bettered it. And that could be another great throw from Wojciech Nowicki over the 80 metre mark. It's going to improve his 78 metres 95. Looking pretty relaxed, Nowicki. He looked great in qualifying. One massive effort. And then he wandered off to get himself ready for this. Over 80 metres. How much over 80 metres? Had 5 men in this field surpass the mark this season. Nowicki, 80 metres and 90 in tricky conditions. He's up in the lead at the moment. He's sharing a laugh with Pavel Fidek. I'm not sure how much Pavel Fidek will be enjoying life down there. He had a foul in the first round.
Great to see athletes who are so used to competing against one another just add something extra, something special. We'll see that again in this particular semi-final. Siragusa on the outside for Italy. Delphine Incanza, the 20-year-old, big improvement for her this year, over 100 and 200, 23.03 in the longest sprint. Paula Sevilla of Spain. This is her first season going sub-23 seconds in Madrid in June. So some have become very prepared for the wet weather with the ponchos. Shana Grebo alongside, 1.2 seconds outdoor PB improvement this year, 22.98 for the University of Oregon athlete. No Daryl Meter alongside the bronze medalist from the 100. taking no further part in the competition. Mujinga Kambunji, though, you can hear the Swiss bells there. National record holder now over 200. And this, the two German-speaking athletes alongside, in fact, three in a moment. This is, first of all, Jessica Bianca Vesely of Germany, World University Games silver medalist in 2019. And then the Austrian Susanne Varley, Olympic and world semi-finalist, actually a 15-time national champion over 400 metres. So another athlete strong over 2 and 4 on the inside there, similar to Lika Klaver a moment ago. We had a joking conspiracy that the bar in some of the jumps was being held on by a magnet. I don't know whether the athletes are grouped and seated in language order. We've got Varley, Vesely, Kambunji, Nita, Grebo, Sevilla, Incansa and Siragusa, who before turning to athletics was a roller skater. So Daryl Nita, no farther part in the competition, the DNS, but Kambunji therefore surely taking on the mantle of the favourite to progress through to the final. Traditionally more of a 100-metre runner, but not so over the last couple of years. Really been a fantastic all-round sprinter. Grebo very close for second. Kambunji eases down in 22.77. So 22.87 was needed to make the final 4 years ago, as Burkhardt, one of those who looks on. It was really close for second, third and fourth, and that might help the athletes in behind. Well, look at that. In fact, it doesn't. It's Burkhardt and Gadadi who know that they will now progress.
Burkhardt, all tears there. She waited for that time to come through. Look what that means. So Burkhardt takes the applause from the crowd. You quite rightly, Alex, referenced her double Olympic kind of efforts last year. 6 months between the Summer Olympics in Tokyo, where she did the relay, and the bobsleigh in the Winter Olympics. And now she's a finalist at the Europeans.
Well, interesting three winners, and I think that's probably setting it up for a battle for the medals between Kambunji, Dina, Asha Smith, who won the second heat, and also the Dane Karstoff. Let's have a look again. Slightly stuttering start. It wasn't the best of starts from Kambunji. She looked a bit unsteady over her first few steps, but once she got into her running, flying around the bend, and it was just really a battle for second place at that point. Good finish from Grebo, Shana Grebo. She's had a long year competing in the American collegiate circuit as well, which started back in April. But Kambunji, well, coming back after a silver in the 100 metres. She's looking absolutely magnificent in the 200, but it's not all going to be about her. As we were saying, there's 2 or 3 other women who could challenge.
Yeah, although Lucan Kemper was determined to come through in the 100, it looked like it was Kambunji's race to win. She had a decent lead there. Great celebration, though, from Burkhardt, who, after Lucan Kemper looked to have cut herself quite badly, Burkhardt's the sort of person who might play a more pivotal role in their relay team, as we see the women who will make up our 200-metre final tomorrow night. Dina, Asha Smith, her teammate Jodie Williams, Ida Karstoft, someone who's smashed the Danish national record in recent times, looking very strong, perhaps one of those lesser-known names emerging on this stage.
Ivan Henriksen takes his place in the circle. Norwegian picked up a great bronze medal in Oregon. Foul in the first round, though. I spoke about it a bit in the introductions. Struggled with some heart arrhythmia. It's been super scary for Henriksen. He's written a big blog about it on his Instagram. Said he's feeling a lot better, might have to undergo surgery at the end of the season. But that's going to settle the nerves a little bit. He had a foul in the first round. Just worry. The big Norwegian is quite feeling all right. He said he felt shaky in Eugene. He knew something was majorly wrong. So to pull out a bronze medal under those conditions. I already had Ivan Henriksen down as a championship performer, and that was before all that drama unfolded out in Oregon. 77 metres, 67 centimetres for Ivan Henriksen, up into 4th place at the moment.
So we also have the long jump going on. This is Ivana Valletta, 6.67 in qualifying, 2016 champion in Amsterdam, and that is a fantastic jump. So over 7 metres, this so early on in the competition for the Serbian. Powerful down the runway, hangs in the air. You can see there, best part of 10 centimetres between her and hitting the board perfectly. Rotating those arms in that landing position. Let's have a look. 7 metres and 6 centimetres. Well, we know that Malaika Mihambo, 6.99 in qualification. Definitely more to come from her. Hasn't even started her competition yet, but wow, what a way to begin. Marina Bekremanchuk, one of those who's had to find bases around Europe and has also been in camps in the States in recent times. Look like she's got a bit of strapping tape around her knee there, so possibly just nursing a bit of a niggle. She has got a valid attempt in this first round, though. Not going to beat that opening effort from Ivana Valletta, formerly Ivana Spanovic, of course. That name is more familiar to you. Bekremanchuk is going to be over 6.50, yes, 6.70, and that wind again remaining quite still. The athletes are on the back straight, but parallel in direction to the home straight.
Back to round 3 of the men's hammer. And Haller's in 3rd place at the moment with a 78 metre 26, and that's an over 80 metre throw. The lead at the moment, 80 metres and 90 centimetres with Wojciech Nowicki. Has Bent Halens upset the order here with his 3rd round effort? That was a massive throw. He's had a decent season. To say he's picked up medals on a world level. Through a personal best at the World Championships to come in 5th place. That top 5 all here competing in the men's hammer throw. Bent Halers waits for that mark. 80 metres, 92 centimetres, a personal best, and the lead by 2 centimetres for the Hungarian. He held the lead till a second ago. Wojciech Nowicki, the defending champion, steps into the circle. Conditions are pretty consistently wet. The officials do seem to be doing their best to keep that hammer circle as dry as they possibly can. Nowicki's got to find another 2 centimetres at least if he wants to go back into the lead. It's another throw over 80 metres, doesn't look quite as big. Perhaps it's Bent Halers. We'll have to wait and see. Nowicki really consistent here across the 3 rounds. 78.95, 80 metres 90, and another 80 metre plus though here in the 3rd round. Defending champion Wojciech Nowicki doing everything he can here to regain his title. Oh, 80 metres 91, brutal. He only finds another centimetre. Bent Halers stays in the lead. Now this man, Pavel Fidek, picked up his 5th consecutive world title. That blue bib indicates he has the thorest throw in the world this year, but he's on 2 fouls. If Pavel Fidek cannot manage something here, he won't get another 3 throws. He needs to get up into the top 8. Quinton Bigo at the moment was 75 metres 23. That looks like it will be enough to get another 3 throws. Wow, Pavel Fidek, he's such a champion. He's so brilliant, but every now and again he takes a little bit to work his way into a competition, and it makes it so nerve-wracking. He does it in qualification as well. You think, come on, you know you can do this day in, day out, but that was a high-pressure effort. And Wojciech Nowicki's thinking, oh, not only have I got Bent Halers to battle with, but Pavel Fidek has just bought himself another 3 throws, and he's a little bit of a wry smile.
Applause for Malaika Mihambo, who will certainly be kept honest by Valletta's 7.06 jump. Mahambo, the Olympic, European and 2 times world champion, 7:12 in Eugene. Here she comes down the runway. That's a long jump, but not going to challenge Valletta in this opening round. I've just had a look. You have to go back to 1998, the last time we had a 7-meter jump win the European title. Heike Drexler, who was unbeaten between 1986 and 1998. And she also holds the championship record, does Drexler, with 7:30, which Mahambo managed when winning the title in Doha, the World Championships in 2019. So 6:71, second place at this point.
So much action going on today. 6 finals, and this one is next. The men's 1500 metres. Yakabinga Brittson trying to redo the double he did in Berlin at the age of 17. It was an astounding performance in Berlin. He's got 1 gold already in the 5,000. Can he pick up another here today? Came unstuck slightly in Oregon when he was firmly the favourite for the 1500 there. Good times this season. He was going in as the Olympic champion. Couldn't hold off the fast-finishing Jake Whiteman. I wonder if Yakabinga Brittson will employ different tactics today. If it does dawdle at all, he could be vulnerable. There's a lot of big kickers here. We know Ingebrigtsen is infallible in diamond-y kind of pace-made type races, whether it's 1500 or 5K. Timothy Chariot's helped him out in recent years by making the finals pretty fast. That's what happened in Tokyo, and Yakabinga Brittson could glide past him. But in Oregon, Yakabinga Brittson took up the running and didn't quite make it fast enough to spread the field out. European 1500 metre races are so often a tactical affair. Spaniards are very good at flying through the field in those sort of environments. I always love to say European men all think they've got the best kick in a 1500. And they're away first time. Mario Garcia was 4th at the World Championships, the Spaniard on the inside there. When you're in lane 1, you've got a choice. Do you go out hard or do you settle? Garcia very smartly removing himself from lane 1, giving himself some more space to manoeuvre, but this doesn't look fast at the moment at all. Crawley and Fontes sharing the lead. Yakabinga Brittson happy to sit at the back of the pack, but I mean, sometimes we see Yakabinga Brittson do absolutely nothing for 400, but he's got himself involved a little bit earlier, 28 or so through the first 200 metres. So it looks like Yakabinga Brittson could be making this a fast race from the start. And there's a bit of a stumble there. I think that was the Frenchman perhaps getting tangled up. He's still on his feet. Great to see. Mario Garcia has extracted himself from this group. He was my pre-race favourite for the silver medal. But Jake Hayward of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, he can be a really brilliant tactical athlete as well. He's sitting in 3rd place. Yakabinga Brittson, the defending champion, the Olympic champion, leads the field through 56.4, so a very healthy pace, and you can see how that spread this field out. Mario Garcia is committed to that pace. He saw the danger. He slotted straight on the shoulder of the Olympic champion. I do wonder, that victory by Jake Whiteman, what that will have done to the psychology of the rest of these male 1500 metre runners. They might have started to believe that Yakabinga Brittson was beatable. I'm not surprised at all to see Yakabinga Brittson make this a hard run from the start, and he spread the field out behind him. Michael Rozmus of Poland's got a great kick on him on his day. He's sitting in 5th place at the moment. Often I think he's too far back and he doesn't use it, and as I say that, Arisi drifts past him for Italy. Arisi at the moment the only athlete moving through the pack. The other position's pretty static. Yakabinga Brittson, Mario Garcia, Jake Hayward. Now Arisi gliding up alongside Habs of France.
So it's Ingebrigtsen controlling matters from the front at the moment. He's got Garcia tracking him. A very strong Italian back in 4th, Arese, and we know he's got a quick finish. Also lurking back in 6th place, but just getting slightly detached. It's Rozmus. He was so impressive in the semi-finals. But Ingebrigtsen just controlling the race as he wants. This is absolutely fantastic performance from Ingebrigtsen. As we know, he can really, that long run for home just gives all the other competitors really just heartburn, just trying to stay with him. At the moment, it's Mario Garcia still up there with Arese. As Ingebrigtsen, here's the bell.
Could be a swift closing lap here. I don't think it's been lightning fast in the middle stages. You can see Gianmarco Tamberi cheering on Aresi. He's got himself in a great position in third place. But Yakabinga Brittson will turn the screw here, 2:51 through 1200. He's maintained a really healthy pace here. Mario Garcia just sticking to him like glue. And here comes Michael Rozmus of Poland. Jake Hayward of Great Britain and Northern Ireland trying to make sure he doesn't get stuck behind Aresi or Rozmus if either of them falter. Going to be Mario Garcia of Spain that's going to come under pressure for the minor medals, because Yakabinga Brittson looks full of running. Such a deceptive last 300 metres. He saved himself an awful lot, and Yakabinga Brittson gliding away to regain the title he had in Berlin 18 years ago, in 2018. Jake Hayward, Mario Garcia battling out for silver and bronze, and Aresi finishing fast. But it's gold for Yakabinga Brittson. He makes it a hat-trick of Inga Brittson brothers titles. He won it in 2018. His brother Philip took it in 2016. Nikisi Benabad upset the string of wins in 2014. The Inga Brittson brothers, that brings their medal tally in the last decade in the European 1500 metres to 6. Better than any other nation, just in one family. Yakabinga Brittson didn't put a foot wrong. 3:32, championship record.
And plaudits as well to Jake Hayward. He didn't make it to the World Championships, came in, filled in the gaps left by the likes of Jake Whiteman and Josh Kerr, and has done so admirably. 3:34.44, not that far away at all from his personal best. And it's Mario Garcia who comes up for the silver medal. Well, there's not a lot more you can say about Inga Brittson over the last 4 years. Even in the COVID year of 2020, he's been almost peerless. He's had the occasional faltering, but he's just kept on taking all the titles. On the European stage, absolutely magnificent. The double-double now for Inga Brittson. But credit indeed to Jake Hayward. His tactics perfect. Didn't get caught up with Inga Brittson, couldn't probably match Inga Brittson, but came through for a great silver medal. And Garcia, well, he was fourth in Eugene, now third, and he'll be on the podium for Spain. Just looking at this battle, such as it is, down the home straight. Hayward, tactics perfect, probably knew in his heart of hearts he couldn't match Inga Brittson, especially with Inga Brittson driving the train from the front. A racy, the fast-finishing Italian. He just got boxed. I don't think he really was in a really good position to attack and use his skills to the foremost. You can't say that about Hayward and Garcia.
Garcia, for me, that was a really brave run. Reminiscent of the likes of Laura Muir and co, trying to live with some athletes that are perhaps a little bit faster on paper. Good to see Garcia hold on for the bronze medal. But you're right, Jake Hayward, probably a better measure of his internal effort, quite what he had left in the tank, as he finished incredibly quickly. We had Jake Whiteman in the bronze medal position in Berlin, another athlete from Great Britain and Northern Ireland, another Jake Hayward moving up to get that silver medal just ahead of Mario Garcia. Garcia is a very interesting athlete, at the University of Mississippi, won the NCAA's indoors, took a silver outdoors, and now moved to get coached by Dathan Ritzenheim. So exciting times for Spain's Mario Garcia. There's a confirmed result. Pietro Aresi rewarded with a personal best. But what about that championship record? Double gold to Norway. Yakabinga Brittson.
Well, just as we pause for breath, there's still 3 field events going on. And this is Oleg Doroshuk. Was straight over 2:18. This is 2:23. No problems for the young Ukrainian in very, very difficult conditions. Did touch the bar. We lost no less than 5 men at the opening height of 2:18. No less than 5 men couldn't clear a height. So we're down very, very quickly to 8 men in this field as the bar has gone up to 2:23. But Doroshuk, he's the first over. In case you're keeping tally and you're not following the results on the European Athletics website, www.european-athletics.com, we lost Amels of the Netherlands, Clark Khan of Great Britain, Fasinotti of Italy, Michaud of France and Wagner of Germany. But this is one German who's having no problems with the height. Tobias Poiter, former European under-20 champion, now 27 years of age and really having his very best season, has improved to 2:30, and that's good jumping. Interesting to see that these days he jumps in contact lenses. For a lot of his career he was jumping in glasses, and I'll tell you what, I think this is probably a very good choice considering these conditions. Now Gianmarco Tamberi, straight over 2:18, his first attempt at 2:23. Nicely done by Tamberi, but it's pretty obvious that he's just ratcheted back the speed. These are very difficult conditions for high jumpers. Really can't go full pelt around the curve and hit your marks. But Tamberi, ever the great technician. So Doroschuk, Poiter and Tamberi, flawless so far.
Back to the men's hammer. Ivan Henriksen in the fourth round. He's in fifth place, 77 metres, 60 centimetres. He's keen to push himself up this leaderboard, but he has got those all-important final 3 throws. Henriksen, he still looks tentative to me, but that could be an interesting throw just below 80 metres. It's going to improve his 77 metres and 60 centimetres in the graphic. It's really up close to the gold medal throw at the moment. It's still with Bence Halas of Hungary, 80 metres 92. The silver medal line is kind of missing off the graphic because it's only 1 centimetre behind. Eidvik Henriksen, 79.45. He's up into 3rd place. Massive health problem for the Norwegian athlete, having to deal with the uncertainty and the concern about that and save some energy for competition. Now, Pavel Fajdek, 78.43 in the 3rd round. He had to do something decent to give himself another 3 throws. He's the fastest in the circle, but he's made a tentative start. That was a tentative finger to the air as well. Oh, that's okay. It's going to improve his mark. It looks to be less than the 79.45 just set by Ivan Henriksen. Pavel Fajdek. No one's really beaten him this season, apart from Wojciech Nowicki, around about on the circuit. And I stand by, I did tout Fajdek and Nowicki as the pre-event favourites for silver and gold. You just have to, when these men so often come out on top. But at the moment, Pavel Fajdek is struggling for a little bit of oomph. His last competition, the Silesia Diamond League, he did a Diamond League record. And that was just over a week ago. Pavel Fajdek a bit rusty in the men's hammer.
Tell you what, in there somewhere is Simon Zilikowski. Alex and I bumped into him just as we were coming into the stadium. So the Poles are being watched by their mentor, the 2000 Olympic champion, 2001 world champion, who eventually got a bronze to his name in the European Championships in 2012.
Heavy throws royalty. German stars here, which I'm sure they've come along to enjoy this. You can see still a fair bit of moisture on the ground. It doesn't seem to be giving the athletes too many issues. The throws are high quality. 2 athletes over 80 metres. Bence Halas has the lead by 1 centimetre over this guy. Wojciech Nowicki. Had a really good series. Look at that, 78.95, 80.90, and that's another 80-metre plus throw. Surely that can't be another 80 and 90 something centimetres. Oh, I think, you know, these graphics aren't 100% accurate. The measuring sticks are, so we'll have to wait and see. But Nowicki, just trading centimetres with Hungary's Bence Halas. So it's just coming towards the end of the 4th round in the men's hammer. Wojciech, the penultimate athlete, Halas will throw last. They reordered these athletes as we entered the final 4 throws. 80 metres, 66, stays in 2nd place. Halas with that personal best, 80 metres and 92. Hungarian, so experienced. He will not start celebrating, he will not be thinking about a gold medal until we get all the way through that final 6th round. So Bence Halas picked up a bronze the 2018 Europeans. Bronze at the World Championships the next year as well. He's third at the Bydgoszcz Continental Tour, and he's fallen out the front. Too much speed and power, couldn't control it. So Ben Talent doesn't improve his lead. It's still just 1 centimetre. It's like a sprint finish in a marathon. See that between Maru Teferi and Richard Ringer on the streets of Munich on the very opening day of this European Championships. Now we're getting treated to a hammer equivalent, 1 centimetre separating Talent and Nowitzki.
Back to the long jump, Malaika Mahambo's second round effort, chasing 7.06 from Ivana Valletta. Best jump here since Drexler's 7.16 in 1998. And we could just maybe have a classic long jump final here in Munich. And the fans would absolutely love that, having populated that back straight after the end of the thunderstorm, because they wanted to be right next to Malaika Mahambo. So, surely this is just going to be over 7 metres. Wow, 7.03. Well, in that competition in 1998, all 3 medalists were over 7 metres, and this could be fascinating to follow.
Well, we're flying around this Olympic Stadium. 3 field events going on. The men's high jump, well, they're about 40 metres away on the same side of the stadium from the hammer circle. Thomas Carmoy's second attempt gets over. We had 3 men over with their first attempt. A lot of jumpers having a great deal of difficulty. Remaining 5 men all failed their first attempt at what would normally be a very straightforward height of 2.23. Thomas Carmoy, last year's European indoor bronze medalist, manages to get himself over the bar. So 4 men over, 2.23 now. So now we're starting the women's 5,000 metres countdown. As always, a quick glance at the medals that will be awarded. The medal ceremonies don't usually take place here. Some of them do, but there's others elsewhere in the Olympic Park. Mark Coates, Brittson. No less than 22 women in this very packed 5,000 metres final. Thackeray, second of the 2 Britons. A very good Dutch one, Maureen Kloster. We've got 4 of the first 5 home in the 10,000 metres from Tuesday night. Alicia McColgan, silver medal over 25 laps of the track. Hectic racing schedule this year. This is her 14th top quality race. Nadia Batacletti, European under-20 and under-23 cross-country champion. There's Caroline Berkeley-Grovdal, reigning European cross-country champion and the European leader over 12.5 laps of the track. Grovdal running a season's leading mark of 14:31.07 in Oslo. Constance Klosterhaufen, bouncing back after COVID, got 4th over 10,000 metres. And there's Jasmine Chan. Was such an impressive winner to regain the 10,000 metres title that she first won in 2016 when she did the double, taking this event as well. Alina Ray was 8th in the 10,000 metres. It'll be interesting to see 22 women in this packed field. There's going to be a little bit of shoving and pushing, I think, when they break for the inside, setting off in 2 echelons. And it's Thackeray who gets to the front. Spaniard Gallardo up there, not getting confused with the 400-metre hurdler Sara Gallardo. This is Carla Gallardo. And this is a rather sedentary pace through the first half lap. And they're just finding their way around as we look at Protsenko. We're now on the third attempts in the high jump. Andrei Protsenko sails clear, like so many of the jumpers, struggling with the sodden surface. But the silver medalist from 2014 and the medalist from Eugene gets nicely over. Now this is live. Matthias Brisbilko, Ivanov and Stefalo have gone out with 3 failures at this height after clearing 2:18. Now Brisbilko takes it. He stays alive, the defending champion from 2018. Needed 3 attempts to get over this height. Makes it count eventually. And the bar will be going up to 2:27. Good jump. Took him 3 attempts to navigate this bar. Dorishuk, Poiter and Tamberi all clear at the first 2 bars on their first attempt.
Back to the track for the women's 5,000 metres, and it's Alina Ray in the lead at the moment. And a decent run in the 10,000 metres. And just as I say that, Caroline Grovdale eases her way past. That's 2 75-second laps in this 5,000 metres. That's not very quick. I was wondering whether Eilish McColgan might fancy a lead. She usually lets the first kilometre go pretty slowly and then asserts herself on the rest of the field. But Caroline Grovdale broke Ingrid Christensen's 36-year-old national record. The 4th place finish at the Oslo Diamond League this season, 14:31. And she's certainly got the calibre to lead that field, as does Pavel Fidek if he can get it right. We're into the 5th round in the men's hammer. Fidek in 4th position at the moment, having nearly exited the competition after 3 rounds. Pavel Fidek, could improve his 78.49, but I'm not sure that's going to challenge the medals at the moment. 5-time world champion struggling to get on the podium at a European level, but that just shows the strength and depth in European men's hammer throwing. The best in the world. Such a treat this season to see them go up against each other twice in the major championships. Another note on these men, so 79.03, an improvement for Fidek. You can't catch Henriksen, Halas and Novitsky. Novitsky 2nd place at the moment. 80 metres 91. He's 1 centimetre behind Bence Halas. If he matches that, if he was 80.92, that'll be enough to go into the league because he threw 80.90 as well. Oh, Novitsky, good balance there, good core stability, strength. Wow, that's a whopper. Wojciech Novitsky in the 5th round. He is the defending champion. He is the Olympic champion. Couldn't take that world title in Eugene. He will give us a smile, he will give us some emotion, but he's a businessman until the end, Wojciech Novitsky. He does well to keep himself in the circle there. And that's going to be a lead for Poland. 42 metres exactly, the lead in the competition and in the world this year. Further than anyone else has thrown, including Pavel Fidek. Again, the men just congratulating each other. For so many athletes, the World Championships is the biggest stage, and then everything after that might be a chance for redemption or just a chance to relax and enjoy the amazing atmosphere we've got here at the European Championships. But that's not the case in this men's hammer. There is no relaxing. This is a world-class field. Bence Halas had the lead. So he's throwing last in round 5 because he came in to these final 4 rounds in the lead. 80 metres 92, a personal best in the third round. And it was a foul in the fourth. Gained a lot of speed there, Halland, and that's not going to cause any trouble there. That's the end of the fifth round. Volchit Novitsky in the lead, Brent Halland in silver, and Eivind Henriksen for Norway in bronze. One round left to go in this men's hammer throw competition.
Well, it's back on the track, and it's still Caroline Björkli-Grovdal setting the pace. She went through 1 kilometre in 3:05.57. Well, that is rather sedentary pace. 4:35.76 at 1,500 metres, and she's speeded up a little bit. 2 kilometres in 6:07.44. That's meant that a few of the women are starting to trail off at the back, but there's still a big group sitting on her, including some of the favourites: McColgan, Great Britain, Chan, Turkey, Klosterhausen, tucked in on the inside. Batacletti up there as well, the diminutive Italian, who's a very, very talented long-distance runner as well. So nothing really happening at this stage. You're sort of wondering, when is Jasmine Chan going to make a move? Back to the high jump. First attempt at 2:27 for Protsenko. Had problems at 2:23. That's a lot better from Andrei Protsenko. That's the sort of form he showed in Eugene when he got a medal. Well, Protsenko managed to get his family out of Kherson, which has been in the news for all the wrong reasons. He's been in France before this competition. Like so many of the Ukraine athletes, living out of a suitcase and very worried about his family back in Ukraine, but still managing to ply his trade and compete at the very highest level. So, Tobias Poiter, flawless so far for the German. This tall, rangy German, nicely done as well. So he takes the initiative. Really good jumping, bags of height. It's all come good for him after a few years of injuries. So first time clearance for Tobias Poiter as well. And another 4 men in this competition. Gianmarco Tamberi, you can see, just moving out.
You said it, Phil, as he switched over to the men's high jump. We were wondering when Jasmine Chan of Turkey was going to make a move, because she made a devastating move in the 10,000 metres. I was looking back at it. I think it could be credited for a single 67-second lap that blasted the field apart. She ran a 2:55, 8th kilometre in a 10K, settled back down to the same pace they were running before. But all it took was one big lap. And perhaps tonight we're seeing Klosterhausen and Eilish McColgan have that belief that yes, Jasmine Chan has opened up a gap, but she's not pulling away, she's not moving any faster. She's just done a single rapid kind of 400, 200 almost rep in the middle of the 5K, and gutted. That's Carolina Grovdal just stepping off the track. I thought she might be having a knee problem. We haven't seen an awful lot of her since she ran that 14:31, so Grovdal will take no further part.
Marina Beck-Romanchuk at the moment sitting in the 3rd place. Those 2 athletes, Valletta, Mehambo, over 7 metres in front of her. Someone who has won medals internationally each of the last 5 seasons. So consistent. So just a little way off, but perhaps consolidating her potential bronze medal as things stand. Let's have another look. Arm drive, knee drive. And then into that pit, and very close there, spot on the boards. Just maybe carrying a bit of a niggle with that tape around her knee, but doing well thus far. 6:76 for Beck-Romanchuk, 6:69 behind her Sawyers, Yapicino 6:53, you can see.
Now Gianmarco Tamberi his first attempt at 2 meters 27. Possibly the most popular man in this stadium who isn't German, and he delights the crowd with that superb clearance. He's brought his A-game to these championships. That's his father, Marco, Olympic finalist himself back in 1980. Marco's coach. Nicely done. And we get a nice little somersault just for added value.
And that reference to basketball, playing that all-star game in the winter, and he said he wasn't going to do an indoor season. Then we went off to Mauritius for an inverted commas training camp, and like the way he felt, that took him to the World Indoor Championships at Tamberi here outdoors. So Jasmine Chan, I think it was a 2:56 third kilometre. They came through 3K in 9:02, but the German and the British athlete behind her are stalking Chan of Turkey. They've maybe learnt from the 10,000 metres that Jasmine Chan was trying to snatch a few metres on them, but then she wasn't going to get any faster. Klosterhalfen, this is the best. I said the other night that fourth in the 10,000 metres is the best run we've seen from Constanze Klosterhalfen in years, and this looks like it could be another one. Bronze medal at the 2019 World Champs. She was out of sorts in Eugene, struggling with illness, but Klosterhalfen at the moment, the best chasing effort here of Jasmine Chan. Eilish McColgan digging deep, working hard to stay in contention with the top two. Does look like the medalists could have pulled away a bit though.
Yes, well, McColgan, bronze, in the bronze medal position at the moment, got silver back in 2018. They've just gone through 4,000 metres in 11:58:02. There's about a second gap between Chan and Klosterhalfen, and Chan has just injected a 2:55 kilometre, and that's spread everybody else around the track apart from Constance Klosterhalfen. Well, you can just hear the roars. Chan, well, she went to Dublin trying to extend her winning streak in the European cross-country championships. Didn't pay off after some early pace. Klosterhalfen got up there, got a medal. And now Klosterhalfen is closing Chan down. This is a terrific run from Klosterhalfen. I wasn't at all sure Klosterhalfen would have very much in her legs. But we've got 2 laps to go now, and this is such a battle. And now Klosterhalfen has gone to the front. Well, this is absolutely magnificent from Klosterhalfen. With 600 metres to go, Klosterhalfen is starting now just to gradually pull away from Jasmine Chan, the 10,000 metres champion. She's trying to claw back the deficit, but Chan's legs just look a little bit leaden. There's none of that bounce that was there in the 10,000 metres over the second half of that race. Klosterhalfen can't yet shake her off. This is going to be a phenomenal last lap. McColgan, if she keeps her poise, if she grits her teeth, will almost certainly be rewarded with a bronze medal. But at the bell, it's Klosterhalfen, and Klosterhalfen surges again. And for the first time, I can see stress and strain across the face of Jasmine Chan. And it's going to be Constanze Klosterhalfen, Coco to everyone in the crowd. There's a massive group of supporters in the main stand. Klosterhalfen, she's looking up at the big screen in front of her as she comes up with 200 metres to go. She's passing the back markers. She's lobbing people over 12 and a half laps of the track. Chan, I think now, she's just too far away to be able to settle for anything other than the silver medal. And Klosterhalfen's picking it up, even pulling away. She's really delivering a statement after suffering from COVID after Eugene, a disappointing run in Eugene, and she's absolutely flying down the home straight. It's as noisy as it was a couple of nights ago when Nicola Ska took the gold medal. Constance Klosterhalfen takes gold, 14:50:47 unofficially. Yet another German gold medal. It's a night to remember for Constance Klosterhalfen, taking the title at the European Athletics Championships here in Munich. Eilish McColgan utterly spent in bronze. Well, she should be very proud of herself, Elise McColgan, after that silver medal in the 10,000 metres. But let's be honest, it's just Constance Klosterhalven that the crowd want to cheer.
Absolutely extraordinary, isn't it? You wondered after Jasmine Chan's victory in the 10,000 metres, would the athletes think about what they'd need to do to beat her? Klosterhalven clearly had that confidence to focus on her own race. And just look at that. She has a flag, of course, can't be hard to find one of those around here. On a lap of honour, athletes still finishing well behind. But Klosterhalven seemed to have great confidence just to wait and be patient until that crucial 3rd K, 4th K. Then came the increase in pace. Such a hard challenge, of course, for Chan to try and win the double. She at least has one title, and Klosterhalven is the 5,000 metre champion.
And what a classy race indeed. The early pace didn't suggest they were going to get anywhere near the championship record of Sifan Hassan from 4 years ago. But in the end, they were just barely 4 seconds outside it. And a spate of personal bests as well for the women like Ragnar Györkis of Hungary. Camilla Richardson, who was also in the 10,000 metres, has bounced back the Finn to get a personal best. Sara Benfares of Germany, she's got a personal best. Garcia of Spain, more personal bests. Rooms of Belgium. So what a terrific race after a sluggish first kilometre. Well, the accelerator got pressed. It was firstly Jasmine Chan. She made it a real race. She tore the heart out of most of the field, with one exception, Constance Klosterhalven, who sat on her and then with just about 800 metres to go, went round her.
As I'm delighted for Constanza Klosterhalven. She's been a brilliant athlete through the age groups. She's a phenomenal 1500 metre runner. I remember her front running a 3:59 at the German Championships, all on her own. In 1:59, 3:39, low, mid 8:30s for 3K. She's just such a phenomenal athlete, and she's plugged away through adversity. She tried to have a bit of a comeback at the European cross country in Dublin, and it just didn't go her way. And you thought, would we ever see Constanza Klosterhalven back to winning ways? And she is here today in front of this home crowd in Munich. If there's anyone out there dealing with injuries, illness, disruption, if they're a young athlete or an established athlete, they should look to someone like Constanza Klosterhalven for inspiration, because that was phenomenal.
So Carmoy over 2:23 on his second attempt. Third attempt for Carmoy, stutters, crashes through the bar. Well, Carmoy departs from this competition. Three men over 2:27. Poiter of Germany, Tamberi of Italy, and Protsenko of Ukraine. I can tell you, Doroshuk, after two failures, Doroshuk's passed up one height. Prisbilko, that's the end of his reign as European champion. He was coming back into form this season with a 2:30 clearance. Tricky conditions out there, though. Needed 3 attempts to get over 2:23, 2:27 just beyond him. He's a jumper who needs to really maximise his speed and get a lot of leverage. It just wasn't to be tonight in these very difficult conditions. So the bar's going to go up to 2:30. 4 men still in the competition. These are where the medals went in the women's 5,000 metres. Constanza Klosterhalven winning gold. Jasmine Chan silver, and Elise McColgan bronze, and a spate of personal bests for the women who didn't make it to the podium.
4 throws left in the men's hammer throw final. Paweł Fajdek has been on every major podium for the last 5 years. But at the moment, the Polish 5-time world champion in 4th place. His best throw, 79 metres and 3 centimetres. Needs to find more if he wants to get on the podium. Ivan Henriksen has got that bronze medal position at the moment, and it is not going to be more metalware for Pavel Fajdek. I was sure he was going to manage to pick up another medal. He's competed since the World Championships, a Diamond League record in Silesia, the first Diamond League on Polish soil. He took the victory there in front of a jubilant home crowd. But Pavel Fajdek is not quite bringing his A-game here to Munich. But as always, smiles all round. Pavel Fajdek is a wonderful competitor. So we have our medalists. Ivan Henriksen, Bence Halas, Wojciech Nowicki. They are your top three at the moment. Ivan Henriksen searching for a little bit more. The Norwegian, he's looked pretty sedate, pretty relaxed. Tiny bit conservative. He's looking for an improvement quite a lot. He needed to get up to 80 metres and 92 if he wanted to challenge the gold medal. And the Norwegian won't do that, but it's another medal. And we're if he had a moment to absorb Yakabinga Britson's gold medal in the men's 1500 a little bit earlier. So he finishes with a throw, best throw of 79 metres, 45 centimetres in the fourth round, and a bronze medal. Just two athletes left to throw. The gap between these men was as small as a centimetre a few rounds ago. Bence Halas briefly in the lead in the third round with his 80 metres and 92. Wojciech Nowicki responded with 82-metre throw in the fifth round. So Bence Halas of Hungary assured a silver medal. It's almost as if Wojciech Nowicki can't look on. Halas building his speed, and it hits the netting. So it's a silver for Hungary and another gold medal for Poland. Wojciech Nowicki successfully defending his gold medal. Bence Halas upgrading from a bronze in Berlin 4 years ago to a silver here in Munich. Wojciech Nowicki was pushed all the way to a world-leading mark at 82 metres to beat the Hungarian Bence Halas. Hungarian team staying in our hotel. I think it could be quite noisy in the lobby by the time we get back there. So Wojciech Nowicki, cheered on by his ex-training partner Malvina Wojciech. They've done a fantastic job. Nowicki caught the netting there as the hammer flew out. It's going to be short of 80 metres. Nowicki thanks the crowd, thanks the supporters, and there's the smile from the big man. Wojciech Nowicki on top of a podium again. He respects all his competitors. He would have known there would be a fierce battle on for the medals here. Wojciech Nowicki, silver at the World Championships, gold at the European Championships, beating his great rival and teammate Pavel Fajdek, Ivan Henriksen, and Bence Halas, the man improving on his performance at the World Championships, pushing himself up into silver medal position.
Well, consolation for Pavel Fajdek, missing out on a medal on this occasion. Delight for Wojciech Nowicki. There's the rundown, world-leading mark of 82 metres exactly. Bence Halas, also over 80 metres. There's the full rundown of the results. But we've still got the men's high jump going on. Oleg Doroshuk decided to opt to take his last attempt at 2:30. No, brings the bar down. Now we know who the medalists are. The three men who got over 2:27. Tobias Poiter of Germany, Gianmarco Tamberi of Italy. They're both flawless. Protsenko is in third place at the moment, having failures to his name during the course of the competition. So those three men guaranteed medals. The bar at 2:30. Well, Doroshuk will finish in fourth place, just out of the medals. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more from this young man. Very talented individual.
Kadi Samnia just made it into the second half of the competition with that 6:47 to lift her up from last up into 7th place. Can she do any better? 6.95 earlier this year. Clutches to try and go further into that pit. So 6.76 at this point needed for a medal. Marina Bekra-Manchuk in the bronze spot behind Valletta and Nihambo. You can see those lines superimposed on the sand. Once again, really good on the board, but not quite far enough. Is she going to move up a position or two? 6.55 for Sania. She's up into 6th place overall. So there is Ivana Valletta. Well, the World Championships final. Mahambo waited until the final round to take gold ahead of Bruma, Nigeria. Yapicino, whose mother was a silver medalist in 1998 in that competition I referred back to earlier, the last time we had a 7-metre jump. We had all 3 medalists over 7. And Yapicino, so 6.53 to this point. European Under-20 champion has improved to 6.60, so she goes up into 5th spot. You can see quite a gap there between Bekra-Manchuk and Mihambo. Wait and see how she can do over the last couple of jumps. That temperature really raised, though, by Valletta to start off. Valletta, who's an 11-time world and European medalist indoors and out. So the final track action of the night, the conclusion of the women's heptathlon. Cambour continuing after that no measurement in the long jump. Sophie Doctor, 14th overall at this point. And the only surviving Dutch woman after 3 that entered. Vetter out with an Achilles problem. Oosterwegel crashed out the hurdles on the first day. Yulia Loban of Ukraine, 13th overall, and of just 15 athletes. Gadavini looks excited to see if she can move up. She's been one of the better runners, was one of the faster 200 athletes at the end of yesterday. Paulina Legarska in front of her in 11th. So that's the order they're coming out in. Bianca Salming. These athletes seeming to relish the crowd and the conclusion of a great evening session. Jado Dowda, highlight for her was the 180 high jump personal best yesterday, but since then has faded a little. She was in the 4th overall at that point. About gaining experience for some of these young athletes. This is a 19-year-old Saga Vanninen of Finland, World Under-20 champion, also winning the European title. Carolyn Schaefer of Germany, one of the better 800 runners. A bit of work to do, seemingly too far off the medal. 2nd best javelin thrower overall, beaten only by Krishan of Hungary. 2:07 over 2 laps, but hasn't run an 800 this year. Well, that's not Sophie Weisenberg, that's Norwitz. Wrong graphic there, but Norwitz, 2:08.50 in Eugene. She could well move up, needs to find 7 seconds to go up to 2nd place, 4 seconds to go up to 3rd. 3rd currently held by Sulek, just around 3 seconds off Annik Karlin of Switzerland. Brilliant competition for the 22-year-old. 6.73 long jump personal best. She was the best sprint hurdler overall, but Nafi Tiam, well, you don't want to hang a gold medal around anyone's neck, but pretty close to it, and has been untouchable. Predicted if she matches her PB from Eugene of 2:13 dead, where she, of course, won the world title, she would achieve an overall score of 6,697 points. 172-point lead. That's worth around 11 to 12 seconds. So, the end of 7 events here. A final few stretches for, no doubt, some exhausted athletes, although a bit of an energy boost from supporters here who love their multi-events. It was a thrilling conclusion to the decathlon. In fact, barely have words for it. Nicola Ska coming through for victory, overtaking long-time leader Simon Ehrmer
we don't quite have the same fight for gold, but certainly do for silver and bronze, with a number of athletes in contention. So here goes Carlin, Sulek and Witz, those in particular who are battling. So the Swiss Carlin, 5.604 after 6 events. Her lifetime best, 2.17 from Gutsis, the specialist hypo meeting 3 years ago. Very close, just a 10th off that in Eugene, where she set a new national record. So if she achieves that lifetime best, she'll get 6,463 points. But Sulek, maybe she can go a few seconds faster. 2:07.18 in Eugene, so 10 seconds on paper. So that's why my prediction is that Sulek is the favourite to be lifted up into that silver spot. And Witz, just maybe she can challenge also. We've got Bianca Salming out front there, who's developing into a great international heptathlete, but with some strengths clearly in the high jump and the javelin and some other events to work on. So 63.43 as they came through the bell. Just having a look here at the predictions. So Carlin still in a good position and fairly close behind Sulek, who's the first of the 2 Polish runners in the red and white. But so close at this point. You can see 60 points separating. Christian also doing well, coming in 6th place overall, and she needs to be 9 seconds ahead of Sulek to try and get a medal. Carlin the more likely to drop down. We'll see how she hangs on this second lap. Certainly that gap remaining around the same, with Witz also trying to move up. Nafi Tiam, well, she can afford to job home, to be honest. But Sulek now going to come through. Carlin trying to summon some strength and some fight to hold on to her medal. Great performance though from Adriana Sulek, who's had a terrific season. 2:09.49 for her, so close to her lifetime best from an athlete who went close to going out of the competition in the long jump, produced a thrilling 6:55 to stay in and stay in contention. As we wait for these 800-metre times to come up and the computers to do the numbers. Sulek, she always brings such character and personality to the competition. So Sulek, 2:09.49, worth 972 points. Witz right behind her, 2:09.63, worth 970. So those two will stay in the same order. Xenia Christian, a season's best, 2:10.90, 951 points. So she could well move up on Sophie Weissenberg, the German. But we can say that Tiam, another European title for her. At one point she was on target for the championship best performance, slipped back after the long jump, only 6:08. But Carlin's score has come up, 2:13.73, 911 points. So it looks like Sulek has moved in front. And that gap wasn't much, 44 points. And it looks like Sulek has gone in front by 17 overall. It's another new national record, though, for Annick Carlin, 6,515 points. So credit to Adriana Sulek, doing what we expected. That was the major change that was predicted to happen. Norwitz, somewhat unlucky for her to be in 4th place where she was in Tokyo. No surprise to see her looking dejected. Nafi Tiam, such a joy to watch, really, and an athlete who seemed to have a couple of weak events traditionally, but this year she's become a better sprint hurdler and a better 800-metre runner. So brilliant to see her get yet another title.
Look, a disappointment from Norwitz. Needed around about 2.5 seconds over Annick Carlin, maybe even a little bit more. She just couldn't quite manage to open up
big enough of a gap on the track in that 800 ahead of Annick Kallen. Annick Kallen of Switzerland stuck to her task so well. And just brilliant to see her at this stage of the season after a busy year, hitting a national record again for Switzerland and a bronze medal. And wonderful emotion from Adriana Sulik as she realised she'd got herself into the silver medal position in this heptathlon. That's the 800-metre results. You've seen Nafi Tiam, not much to fight for, 2:17, but easily enough for the gold medal.
Yeah, so Nafi Tiam is now a two-time Olympic, two-time world and two-time European champion. Simply incredible stuff. Maybe she needed someone to push her a bit more to a championship record. Anouk Vetter going out just before the javelin, her strongest event.
So the high jump is reaching a climax. Protsenko and Poiter have failed their first two attempts, but no mistake about Gianmarco Tamberi. Will that be a gold medal jump? In these tricky conditions, a jump like that can make all the difference to your gold medal aspirations. Well, one failure at 2 meters 30. On his second attempt, though, flies clear once again. A formidable competitor, a hugely charismatic character. And he really can deliver when the occasion demands. Arches his way over the bar, doesn't even touch the bar.
He's indicating, referencing his upcoming marriage there. I don't know if he pointed at the wrong hand on purpose first. It's traditional to wear your wedding ring on the other finger, but his fiancée looking on very proudly from the side there.
Well, he's grabbed a blanket. It's still cold out there. Now, Tobias Poiter has jumped 2:30. This would equal his personal best. Jumped 2:30 to improve his personal best by 3 centimeters when he won this year's national title in Berlin. Has he run out of time, though? He's having to really hustle up. No, took off too far away. Poiter guaranteed a medal. Looking across, Protsenko has passed his last attempt and will take it with the bar going up to 2 meters 32. And he's the first to jump ahead of Gianmarco Tamberi. So Poiter, well, I thought Poiter, having seen him in a couple of German competitions, had the caliber to suddenly translate finally his technical ability onto the senior stage. He was the European under-20 champion 9 years ago. Now Protsenko, the old man of the field, if you like. Protsenko, 34 years of age, silver medalist back in 2014 when he finished behind his compatriot Bohdan Bondarenko. Got another European medal to his name. Not a bad attempt, though. Really put himself into that, committed everything, but just brought the bar down. So Protsenko takes the bronze, Tobias Poiter takes the silver, and this man, Gianmarco Tamberi, jumps into the arms of Protsenko. A lot of camaraderie between all the high jumpers. Tamberi's got the gold. Is he going to attempt 2:32? Maybe this isn't the night for such feats.
He's just trying his takeoff spot.
Yeah, that would suggest he might have a crack at it. Or maybe he's just soaking up the atmosphere. Well, they've known each other for a long time. Poiter, not a great deal of international competitions to his name, despite having been almost a decade ago the future of German high jumping. Had a lot of injuries. Yes, he is going to have another go at 2:32. He's the only man in the competition. Just didn't have the height. I think that's it for the night for Gianmarco Tamberi, but should feel very proud of himself to be able to conquer these conditions and go over 2 meters 30. Wasn't a competition for the ages. You've got to turn the clock back to 1982, to the last time a high jump was won at 2:30.
So back to the women's long jump, and Gardashevich of Serbia in 7th place with 6:52 at this point, and that looks very close to that bronze medal line. It's been held for some time by Marina Bek-Romanchuk of Ukraine on 6:76. We haven't seen any improvements for some time in this competition, but look at that, by just a finger's width perhaps. It is an invalid attempt. Oh, frustration for Gardashevich. Jumped 31 centimetres further than that in qualification. Always a shame when you see that happen. 6:99 for Mahambo to make it through to this final. She's gone 4 centimetres better, but Valletta 3 in front of her. Kari Sangya has grown into this comp. Look at that, improving through the series. And what can she do? So close to 7 metres this year, the European indoor bronze medalist. 6:76 to get on that podium. So she is once again just short of that. And her coach remonstrating a little there. It is a valid attempt though, but you just wonder whether we're going to see any more big improvements. Are we going to get another competition like 1998, where all 3 medalists were over 7 metres? Sania trying to transfer all that energy she's built down the runway into the most important phase, the takeoff. Just coming down a little short, 6:61. Her best jump, and in 6th place. Very patient Ivana Valletta, who's certainly prepared for the rain. And it has been threatening to rain for a while, and eventually the heavens opened. Yapashino just being told, I think, by the coach to wait for a convenient moment. Perhaps there's a bit of wind. So Yapashino looking determined then. She's got to pull everything together, the young Italian. So 6:62 at the moment. Jasmine Sawyer's 7 centimetres in front of her, and Bek-Romanchuk 14 centimetres in front. Heptathletes celebrating in the background, typical show of camaraderie, but Yapashino, she's just got her eyes on this runway. So picking up and just falling down faster than she would have liked. So that's the end of her competition, a respectable 5th place. 6:28 in the final round. That leaves us with 4 jumps. We lost, by the way, Hommeyer, Thomas, Rutaru, Kotman and Fotopoulou in that order, 9th to 12th. These athletes all, of course, got 3 more efforts. And really, you just wonder how much noise Mahambo will get and whether she can really thrive off that. That's coming up in a moment's time. Mahambo actually said she wasn't 100%, but was hoping to come through clean after reduced amount of training recently. COVID had an effect on her. We said that about Costanza Klosterhalfen, who won the 5,000 metres. Valletta just going to rest for the moment and just zone out. So Sawyers, Bek-Romanchuk, Mahambo and Valletta left to have a last go. Mahambo, well, she only needed 6:75 actually to win last time. Let's see what's on with Gianmarco Tamberi.
Well, I thought he'd actually signalled to say that he'd be going to finish the competition, but he's decided to take another attempt at 2:32. Oh no, he's just moved the bar up an inch to 2:33. Well, he's allowed to do that. So Tamberi going to take a second attempt at 2:33. was to equal his season's best. Not a bad attempt. Truth be told, I don't understand the rationale for that, but for going up to 2:33. But
I mean, neither. A bit of a mock tantrum there by Gianmarco Tamberi. One more attempt for him. 4 more jumps in the women's long jump final.
Yeah, so one more attempt for Jasmine Sawyers. There is Aston Moore coaching at these championships and watching on, trying to really psych herself up from this. Silver in Zurich in 2014. Well, in the World Championships, she didn't improve after the first round. Doesn't want that to be the case this time. So close to a medal for Sawyers. Well, that's one to make it interesting. Is it a valid attempt? It is. So Jasmine Sawyers, it's 6:80. She moves in front of Marina Bekremanchuk. And that is delightful for an athlete who's made a lot of World and Olympic finals, but actually to get some silverware is exactly what she wants. But Marina Bekremanchuk will now have to respond, and she is someone absolutely with the caliber to do so. 5 times a European medalist, 3 times a European indoor champion. She won this title, Amsterdam in 2016. So consistent. World indoor triple jump silver medalist. So now needs 6:80. Marina Bekremanchuk, oh my goodness me. So she screams with delight, but oh my goodness. Then with frustration, can't believe it. Let's have another look. Would have meant so much to her to react after being put down by Sawyers. Well, that is close to the 7:06 of Valletta. And it was well over in the end. Well, you can't help but feel sorry for Bekremanchuk. You know, all over the world trying to find training bases. Straight on though to Mahambo. So I mentioned 6:75 she needed in Berlin. This time she's really been pushed by Valletta. It was no problem though to respond in the final round of the World Championships in Eugene for the Olympic, European and 2 times world champion. 7:12 is her best this year, even though she's had COVID fairly recently, still in fairly decent shape. So what can she do? Valletta waiting on, and no doubt she could react if needed. But this is the home favourite, the one everyone wants to see tonight. Become the champion again, Mihambo. Maybe that's just short of 7:06, and I think she knows it. It is a valid attempt though. Have another look. Good takeoff, kicks out to try and extend the jump. It's 6:99, that was what she did in qualification. And you thought that she's definitely going to go over 7 meters in the final. She has, but Ivana Valletta, someone who's talked about maybe she'll end her career in the next couple of years. Such a consistent performer, national record holder, indoors and out, one of Serbia's most famous sports people, 2-time Serbian Sportswoman of the Year, the same years as Novak Djokovic, and she has really put long jumping on the map in her country. Olympic medalist who wins the European champion for the 2nd time here in Munich.
So word for Bekremanchuk, so many fouls have cost her medals. She's done huge jumps in the closing stages of competitions and always seems to come the wrong side of the board. But Ivana Valletta said if she had managed to win in Tokyo last year, she would have retired. She didn't win. She
She rallied to pick up a gold at the World Indoors in Belgrade in front of a home crowd. That was an inspired performance. It must have been so hard to be motivated to get back to performing. And you could see what it meant to the Serbian. I mean, surely she's passed her last jump. I could see some of the officials trying to ask Ivana Valletta if she wanted to jump again. But what a brilliant, brilliant long jump competition. Competitive all the way down to the wire. Poor Marina Beck-Romanchuk doing a jump that might have put her up in the medals if only it wasn't a foul.
Yeah, you felt that it was so likely that we'd see more improvements after that explosive beginning to the competition. 7:06. So early in the competition, it was Mihambo, second attempt, 7:03.
So while the stadium is still throbbing after that really enthralling high jump, long jump competition, we've still got the high jump going on. Oh, final failure for Gianmarco Tamberi, but he takes a gold and regains the title he won in 2016. And here's a few theatricals and acrobatics for the crowd. They love Gianmarco Tamberi. Absolutely a star here, as he is across all the stadiums around the world, not least of which after his fantastic performance in the Olympics and that wonderful display of sportsmanship, sharing the title with Mutaz Esabashim from Qatar. And he's going to continue, I'm sure, at the very top for many years to come. And he'll be defending his title in for 2 years' time when we're off to Rome. And we've just heard today that the dates are confirmed for Rome, and it'll be in June. The earliest we've ever had a European Championship, but fits nicely into the schedule for 2024. Obviously, it has to dovetail with the Olympics in Paris, and I'm sure returning to the Rome Olympic Stadium, and here we are, of course, in the Munich Olympic Stadium, will be a fitting place for the next European Athletics Championships. He's found an Italian flag. Well, as I said, it wasn't a classic competition. The last time a European title went at 2:30 or lower was back in 1982, but it doesn't really matter because it's the gold that counts, and that goes to Gianmarco Tamberi with 2:30. Surprise silver perhaps to Tobias Poiter with 2:27, and Andrei Prochenko 2:27 as well. A lot of no marks. 5 men went out at the opening height a little while ago.
Yeah, possibly due to the slippery conditions maybe, but here we are, our long jump medalists, and look at the delight, particularly on the two faces on the left-hand side. Obviously, Mihambo would have wanted to do exactly what she did in Berlin. I just wondered whether she's carrying a shoulder issue as well.
No, that's more therapeutic strapping. She often wears that. I'm pretty sure her shoulder's pretty okay.
So the hug for Sawyers. Obviously, these women so used to competing on the Diamond League circuit. And there we go. These are the competitors who've come out on top. Valletta, Mihambo and Sawyers. Beck-Romanchuk just beaten in the final round. And then Fotopoulou will have to wait until another day to beat that Cypriot national record.
There's the high jumpers, all 3 men. Tamberi and Prochenko know each other very well. Poiter, even though he's 27 years of age, a bit of a newcomer on the international scene. Come back into international contention after a number of years when he's been injured or hasn't really had the form that he showed in his teenage years. Tamberi still larking around, and he's been always like that. I can still remember commentating on a competition when he got 3rd at the European Under-20 Championships back in 2015, I think it was.
Got some great personalities in men's high jump. Musang Hot, Mutaz Bashim as well, always bringing the entertainment. That's the Zadrona Silek. Brave running in the 800 metres to push herself up into a medal position, which couldn't quite manage that in Eugene. A brilliant run here tonight in Munich, and Nefi Tiem is class above the rest.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that she can still score close to 6,700 when not being at her best, you have to say that's pretty sensational, isn't it?
How much did she really push herself in that 800 metres? She didn't really need to push herself once Ivana Valletta departed from the competition with that Achilles injury.
Yeah, 5 seconds off what she managed, that 2:13 lifetime best in Eugene when she took the world title there. But you just wonder, Sulek and Carlson and, of course, Anna Hall from the States, part of that young generation coming through. And just maybe if they can develop, they can invest in all 7 events, they can start to challenge Tiam towards the later stages of her career. Maybe some time before we see that, though, really and truly. Looks like they're going to go on a lap of honour together, though. Valletta seemed to have multiple ways of keeping dry. Might have needed that towel earlier. We had quite a thunderstorm that delayed the action earlier on in the evening session. But then came the fireworks of Valletta's 7:06 jump. And here are our heptathletes. Great to see them, as always, arm in arm, traditionally at the end of the competition. They've been through it together over 2 days, and some of these athletes to compete internationally at the European Championships is a great feat in itself, and to get to the end of 7 events.
And the high jumpers also taking a deserved lap of honour. Gianmarco Tamberi, well, back in 2016, when he won that title, he went on to clear 2:39, which remains his personal best, and then got injured when attempting 2:41. It's taken him years to come back, but he's come back with aplomb. And he's going to be around for a while longer, I think. As I was saying, he's going to defend his title in Rome, I'm absolutely sure. Of course, high jumpers always struggling to hold off Achilles injuries, and he seems to have found the sweet spot as far as his fitness is concerned. If you look at his ankles, he's always got a lot of strapping on his ankles.
As a look at the medal table, we thought Nika Mahambo might be picking up a gold medal for Germany, but instead it was Constanze Klosterhalfen adding to their gold medal tally. They're just stretching their lead away at the top of the table. Great Britain and Northern Ireland picking up a pair of medals through Jasmine Sawyers and Jake Hayward in the men's 1500 metres. Spain are having a good evening as well. Poland picking up another couple with a gold. Volchik Nowitzki and silver with Adriana Sulek. Serbia picking up their second medal of the championships, one over in the men's shot put. But it's been a brilliant close to day 4 here at the European Championships. Tomorrow morning we're going to see some relay action, 4x4 heats, 4x1 heats with both genders. 800 metre semi-finals. That'll be day 5 out of 7 at the European Championships here in Munich. It's been a multi-sport games. The whole Olympic Park here to the north of the city centre has been vibrant, been full of crowds. Bit of rain this afternoon would have cleared some of them out, but it's been back-to-back sunshine, back-to-back action on the track and in the other sporting events. A real buzz about the town. Drawing towards a close, though, Thursday night here in Munich. Everything will be wrapped up by Sunday, and we're loudly informed it's pretty much just athletics and table tennis by the time we get through to Sunday.
And let's be honest, do we care about the table tennis? We're all athletics fans. I'm sure they're very good at what they do.
The fact that I call it ping pong probably shows that I don't know enough about table tennis to respect it properly, but it's really interesting when you bump into other sports people and they're all asking what's on in the athletics tonight. I wonder if they might continue taking their daily shuttles to the Olympic Park and make their way into the athletics track instead to watch some of our superstars. Ivana Valletta taking some well-earned hugs there off supporters.
Well, the Olympic Stadium is now starting to empty. We've gone beyond the halfway point now. Once again, there's the medal table. Germany leading the way with 5 gold medals. 11 medals in total. Quite a lot of countries, including Spain, have 2 medals apiece. No less than 16 countries have got themselves golds. And 24 countries on the medal table, including Ukraine, thanks to Andrei Potsenko.
There is our closing look at the overall medal table and the multi-sport element. Germany, the host nation, putting on a show. I'm sure the French broadcasters will flip that table. They've got the most medals overall with 41, but those overall tallies on the gold going to Germany. Just brilliant to see all these different nations represented. I always say athletics is a very global sport, but this multi-sport European Championships is much the same. Israel, all those 4 medals coming in track and field. They've had their most successful ever athletics European Championships, thanks to some amazing exploits out on the roads in the marathon, and Luna Selpeter on the track in the 10,000 metres. That is the end of our programme here this evening. Myself, Hannah England, Phil Minchell and Alex Seftel have really enjoyed another dramatic evening here in Germany. We've got more action for you coming up tomorrow. Those relays will take place in the morning. Qualification in the javelin and the high jump for the men and the women. Semi-final of the 800 metres. And then we look towards the evening. Che in the discus against Alekna and Gudjus. And another few gold medals to be handed out. But for tonight, thank you very much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you tomorrow.
You're listening to coverage of the European Athletics Championships. We created this audio stream to make sure that no matter where you are, you can keep up with all the action from Munich. If you'd prefer to watch our live coverage or to check out the highlights, head to athletics.eurovisionsports.tv. We'll either give you access